Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 74 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me, I have my boy, first of all, Dustin Furman. Dustin, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. It's Memorial Day here recording.
That's right.
So the boys working overtime. Though Last Stand has never really done like the Monday holidays almost ever.
No.
So you know it is. We're rolling. That's okay. But yeah, I'm doing just fine. Decent weekend. I was showing you, Brad, that I did like one of those. So in Japan, you can do these prize raffles where you spend money and then you pull out a little ticket.
Yeah.
And they had one at this place I was at in Pittsburgh, and it was $18 an entry. And I was like, I don't want to win like a fucking keychain or something. But then I got a giant Shanks statue.
Yeah. Have you unboxed it?
I did. Yeah, it's downstairs. I need to send you a picture of it.
Send me a picture.
So I was excited about that. I've used up all my luck, probably for the rest of my life.
Oh, boy.
On the Shanks figure that's valued at about $70. So, you know, you get what you get.
Yes.
But more importantly, I'm excited about our guest here. Someone who I met once. He was a very lovely man. But I'll let you intro him, Brad.
Yeah, we have Mystic Ryan. Most of our audience already knows about you, Ryan, though. Hey, how did you guys meet?
We met at Too Many Games.
Yeah, TMG.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are you both? You could also meet him at Too Many Games if you want.
Yeah. It's a little far for me, Dustin.
Sure.
It's a little far for me.
Come on. Well, you don't like retro games?
I do love retro games.
You don't like spending all your money on retro games?
I do like doing that as well. Dustin's a bad influence,
Brad,
on me.
I fucking hate money, and it's a great place to lose it.
I know. Dude,
I hate it.
I've been telling Dustin recently, I'm in the market for a PSP because I never owned one. So I was like, okay, now's the time. And I showed Dustin the Kingdom Hearts one and the the Crisis Core one. And I was like, these are the two I need. One of these two I need.
Starting off with, I think those what's the value on those? Are they pricey?
They're not too expensive. They're like 200 or less, maybe, from what I've seen on eBay.
Because I feel like PSPs are like still relatively affordable.
Yeah.
When you benchmark it to like the other retro game market.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Pretty much anything else. PSP games are dirt cheap. Systems are still like 50 to 80 or something, depending on condition. Not bad at all.
Yeah. So I'm ready to spend more money on that. I bought 3DS because Dustin's influenced me. I got another DS coming from Dustin.
That's the more expensive. Like 3DS is crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
I know. Well,
what's been funny, Ryan, is that Brad has been, I mean, you've always been into retro games, but you're recently getting into collecting, of course, because of my bad influence.
Yes.
So one of the first things Brad's like, hey, if you see a Zelda 3DS, let me know. And I was like, are you sure about that? Like, do you know? And I've sent him a few that I've seen, and Brad's like, nope. Yeah, I'm like, you will probably never get one of these unless you find one. I mean, dude, the chance of finding one at a yard sale is like probably zero, almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even ever like do that stuff. Like I always say this. I have a lot of respect for folks that like do that grind of like hitting up the Goodwill every day, doing the yard sales every day to get something that's like well under market value or like those fines. But like, it's just, I don't know, ever since like 2020, everyone has that due diligence of like, I know what I have, checking market prices, and there's like no getting around it. Like you have to pay what they
premium
go for. Yeah.
Right. That's just the way it is.
When I was getting back into yard sale, this was like 2 or 3 summers ago, I went to my first yard sale and I found a box of PS1 games for $1 each.
Wow.
Which there was nothing. I mean, there was like Final Fantasy VII, a few other cool games, nothing crazy. But that was kind of like winning my figure. Like that ignited something. And so I spent the rest of the summer going to yard sales, probably at least, I mean, it was like every Saturday for 2 or 3 hours. Probably went out like 6 or 7 times. So we're talking dozens of hours. I didn't find shit after that.
Damn.
And when I did, was like I pull up to a yard sale and someone had like Star Ocean 2 or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in buying this. They're like, oh, hold on. And then they pull up eBay and their copy looks like it was, like in a trash can somewhere. And I'm like, dude, I'm out, but yeah, it's dire out there for trying to get stuff cheap, but it is what it is.
Dustin, you're coming out here very soon for Summer Game Fest. We're going. It's going to be fun. We're going to have to go to some retro stores around here when we have time. There's one maybe on the way home from SGF we can go to.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder if are retro games more expensive in California just because you're in Los Angeles? Like, does that affect the internet market?
Last time I was there, I went to LA Video Games up in, that's like the Valley. And I don't know. I remember not like loving the prices. Not to like call out that store. I get like the cost of living and everything, but I don't remember ever walking out with anything over there.
Yeah.
That's like the store here in Butler, he normally does do, it's like, I don't know, maybe depending on the game. Like I think he had Xenogears and it was maybe like 10 or 20 above price charting. But he usually prices to condition, and if there's any, like, he'll take it back if it's scratched or it doesn't work for any reason. I feel like that, I don't know, I'm willing to go above price charting a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, Ryan knows this. Too many games though is the wild west of like, you'll go to one table and you're like, wow, they got some good shit here. And then you look at one price and you're like, oh, that's why they have all this good shit, because it's like at least 30 or 40% above price charting, sometimes more.
I'm with you though. I don't mind paying that like percentage premium if condition is like, I know I'm probably never going to find it in that shape ever again. Like the thing I'm chasing is complete in box Pokemon games.
Oh my God, yeah.
which are obscene, but like that's where the price like varies greatly. And there's also like multiple prints for like red and blue. Like there's some games with typos on them. So there's like always a weird premium on certain conditions and certain factors of the game and what they came with, if they're fully complete, if they have the insert, if they have the plastic, if they have the, if the label's good. I will pay just even a little bit over that, few $100 if it's like as clean as possible. But that's only my preference of like, I love those games deeply and I want them to look as nice as possible.
Yeah.
That's a circumstance where I'll do it. And then there's like, there's other games where I don't really give a shit and I'll buy it without the manual so I can get it a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I just forgot, Ryan. So in case anyone doesn't know you, YouTuber, you have your YouTube channel, MysticRyan, very PlayStation focused, very good stuff on there. So just letting people know, check you out over there. Also, Dustin, you helped me with this. I have a YouTube channel coming out. It should be out very soon, or out by the time everyone hears this. First video is on Death Stranding and why I love it so much. Dustin made the thumbnail for that. It's just Bradley Ellis Games. So shout out to Dustin and Lockmort for helping me edit on that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Taught me.
I'm excited for you to launch that channel. And Ryan, I was just watching your video of your yearly like checking out PlayStation 3 servers.
Oh yeah,
always a fun watch. I highly recommend that to people. And dude, you're recently on Scott's channel, of course, which was pretty sick.
We filmed that a while ago. He has like a crazy roadmap of like when he films and gets videos up. So I'm like, oh yeah, that finally came out.
Sure,
nice.
Yeah.
That was like forever ago. Like you can tell from like the background, like that shelf wasn't back there, and I was still like moving into this place basically.
The real YouTuber schedule. Yeah.
That was like straight up over a year ago, but it was always fun talking to Scott.
Dang, that's crazy. All right, everybody. Before we get into the show talking about what we've been playing, please check us out on patreon.com/laststandmedia if you'd like to support us. Leave us a nice rating, thumbs up, all that good stuff if you enjoy the show. You can get some merch at laststandmedia.store if you want some shirts, got stickers, all that good stuff. All right, we got a little warm-up question here, a couple warm-up questions. This one's from Twiddlesticks. How's it going, fellers? Here's an opener for you. I know the three of you have a history with Pokemon, but I know Ryan loves Yu-Gi-Oh! I was wondering if Brad or Dustin have any affinity with Yu-Gi too. Bonus question. Any of y'all had any memorable Pokemon battles or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels back in the day? I'll quickly share mine to start. After watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime for so long on Cartoon Network, my dad bought me a deck from the flea market. This detail is important. The next day, I brought it to the playground, but man, oh man, I got heavily roasted because my deck was fake, and I also had banned cards apparently. Ever since then, my love for the franchise died. Tragic, but funny looking back, not gonna lie. I'll hush for now and let Ryan Boy bring out his dual disc.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
It's in the other room. I'll get it, though, if I have to stun on these hoes. I don't mind doing it.
Sure.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Man, dude, well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was big, I think, when I was in 3rd grade, because that would have been like 2003 was the initial.
Is that when it got big? Yeah, okay.
I feel like that's it, because I specifically remember that it was really big at school. People were playing and trading, but as things get ruined in elementary school, there were some like older kids that were either like stealing cards or like convincing younger kids to do bad trades.
Right.
So I remember the announcement at the end of the school day where the principal was like, as of tomorrow, we'll be banning all Yu-Gi-Oh! Mon cards from, we're just having too many problems. Blah, blah. And I was like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Mon, bitch.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Mon.
But I always tried to play, because I had of course, the Dark Magician deck.
Oh, yeah.
And me and my uncle, he's a few years older than me. So he was at the point where he was, I don't know, like 12 or something. So he was smart enough that he could really play. And he just always destroyed me. And we would buy packs and stuff, but I didn't understand like deck building or anything like that. So I was like, oh, this card looks cool. I'm throwing this in. We would go to the comic book store at our mall and play on Saturday mornings. So I'd be playing against like 30-year-old neckbeard.
Yeah.
Me as a 3rd grader. And of course, I mean, they were very nice to me and I appreciate it. Looking back now, I'm like, man, they put up with this, stupid kid. But yeah, it was never more than a passing fad for me, but I am more curious about it now because I have stacks of One Piece cards here everywhere over my house. Like you can just find these. It's almost like, what is it? Not Sixth Sense. On the movie Signs, when the girl has the water glasses all over the house, that's me, but with One Piece cards. And I like the
Same
idea.
Thing.
Oh, dude, there they are, dude. Here they are.
It's like a little soul crushing since like everything's getting more popular than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's the thing is.
My close proximity is Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh,
dude,
damn!
Yep, there it is.
There they
There
are.
it is. Dude, look at those.
Those are nice.
Those look sick, dude.
QCR, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Wow.
Dude,
Damn.
That's
Duel Master.
I just love opening the packs, and I would love to play at some point, but people do play Yu-Gi-Oh! Near me at the local comic book store, but they do not, as far as I know, play One Piece. So the dream is dead. Instead, I'll just waste money because a man must rip. I'm sure, Ryan, a man must rip constantly. So
where do you think these came from?
Yeah.
You think I bought singles? I'm not some peasant. I wasted my money and gambled like everybody else did.
Yeah. Just gotta crack packs sometimes. Just the way it is.
This was from a case. This is where my degeneracy really came in of like, oh, look, you're an adult. You have adult money. Let's finally like catch up on those childhood dreams. And it's not like, oh, I just went out and bought like a booster box. I was like, oh, no, I'll be an adult and waste a shitload of money on a fucking case that a store would get and just rip 12 boxes over like a 2-hour period. And I'm penny sleeving, and it's gotten bad, but in a good way, in the best way.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Dude, cracking packs is too fun. Can't deny it.
It is too fun.
Yeah, for Yu-Gi-Oh, for me. So it was like 2003. So I was in high school when Yu-Gi-Oh was out. I've never actually played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I remember seeing the cartoon. I've seen like the first season or whatever, like Pegasus's Island or whatever. But then they had like new kids and new casts. I don't know what the hell was going on and all that shit. Hilarious anime, by the way. The 4Kids dub of that show. Genius. Joey's voice, wonderful. Some New York accent. It's so good how dumb that show is. I love it. But I always thought the cards were really cool in it. Like, I love the fact that Exodia exists. What is Exodia? Like 5 pieces or something like that? I just thought that was so sick back in the day when he would bust it out. and it would blow like everyone's dick off when he would get Exodia out.
Yeah.
It was so good, man. How did you get into Yu-Gi-Oh though, Ryan?
It's like the same. You guys are right. It's like that 2002, 2003 area. You know, I think '02 is when the starter decks came out. So Dustin, you had Dark Magician. I don't remember what my first one was, but like I got like super into it. So like I had gotten eventually all the decks. Definitely like booster packs whenever we're like at Target or something and I'm sitting there begging and freaking out. Can you please give me just one booster pack?
Yeah.
I stuck with it for like a little bit. I grew out of it like I think a lot of people did. I only came back to the game like after 20 something years. It's kind of recent where I really got back into it and I'm like playing it more often and I'm like playing the actual physical TCG, which is another good point too. Like it seems like typically like TCGs, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic. Well, Magic's a lot bigger relative to Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, I don't want to sell Yu-Gi-Oh short. Just there's a lot of Magic, a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it seems like most people will collect Pokemon or One Piece or Lorcana. Lorcana seems to see a lot of play nowadays, but I digress. The point is, now I'm playing it more nowadays. But I never like stopped like loving Yu-Gi-Oh like just from like a distance. Just appreciating like every so often I'll watch the anime, every so often I'll like look at TCG sets and not buy them, but like for some reason I got into it recently. So now it's like kind of a new vice, and it's always like I'm sure you guys can relate, but it's like one of those things where it's different. It's like it's a different hobby that is unrelated to like what we're even doing right here right now. Like I don't monetize Yu-Gi-Oh, so it feels so fun to like that's my thing away from doing PlayStation, doing video games, making videos. It's like been very therapeutic for me in a way in recent years.
Yeah, totally. Just card games, man, too good.
I also once had the dual disc, and I remember because this was also my uncle that's a few years older. He also had it, so we tried to play with the dual disc. We're like, this sucks.
You can't. It's
like,
just so
like why would we want this? This is like kind of the illusion is ruined now. So, man, that thing was kind of crazy. So I think I saw it in one of your videos recently. You still have it.
I wore it for like 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm not going to ever have an excuse to use this. So I'll use it here.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, man, Yu-Gi-Oh! And isn't like, I don't know how into like the manga or anime where I remember something that like, isn't the first arc of the anime or the manga like totally not about the card game and it's like real dark and fucked up, like Yugi's killing people?
Yeah, it's like the Japanese like very sort of like first iteration of like that story in the manga. It's super dark, but that's also like where the difference comes in between like the West and Japan. So Japan, like even Japan for like that's the like what Brad was saying, like the 4Kids dub and version, like everything's just so different by the time it comes here. So even in that season 1 Duelist Kingdom arc, like there's just like certain portions of it where they make a big change. Like there's a part where Kaiba's like pointing a gun at somebody.
And they do like the fingers or later or something like that. I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
they change it to fingers or like cards or something. It's like this is goofy as hell. Like, come on, give him the fucking the Glock or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, Dustin, have you ever seen the 4Kids One Piece?
I have done some research about it since I started watching One Piece because Holly grew up watching the 4Kids dub of One Piece, and I was like, oh, because she always talks about, of course, the pirate rap, the intro for that, which some people think is amazing because they grew up with it. I am like, dude, this is not We Are. Okay, get out of here. But some of that 4Kids, isn't it Sanji has a lollipop?
Yeah, instead of a cigarette. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's really bad. The voice acting's so funny in it too. You got to hear Sanji's voice. He sounds all nasally. It's very strange. Oh. They don't have like guns in the show either. It's wacky. It's so bad.
What were they thinking? Like with One Piece, like obviously, I mean, One Piece is, I don't know, is it a kid's show? It kind of is and kind of isn't. I mean, it deals with like, I don't know, slavery.
I mean, it's Shonen Jump, I guess, which technically for younger kids.
Yeah. But yeah, probably not good for American 4Kids in 2000.
No.
Or whatever year it was.
It's like kids shit in the 80s was like way more intense. Like they were buying like Rambo toys and Alien toys, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been for kids from the 80s.
They saw
They had a little more edge back then, I feel like.
Yeah.
But now they're all watching, I don't know, YouTube and dumb shit like that.
Brain
rot stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Arguably, it's way worse now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen some of the stuff my nieces and nephews watch. I'm like, what is this? This is horrible.
So, not to take us too far aside, I was thinking about this. I'm like, man, I think we were well, I don't know. You guys are, well, I don't know. I don't know how old you are, Ryan. Are you a little older than me? Are you?
I'm in my 30s, so.
Okay. I'm 31. So you, and Brad's, I don't know, 42, Brad, whatever. 42. Okay, you're just rolling with it. But I'm like, man, we kind of were progenitors of the brain rot. Like, I think about like the He-Man singing video, and some of the other shit that we were watching. That I'm like, this is kind of not that different from what the kids are watching now.
Yeah. I think we, kind of grew up in that like super transitionary period of, we know what it was like before all that stuff. And then we were like there for the early onset of it, but it wasn't quite to the degree of like doom scrolling. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We weren't fed that stuff in such a hyper focused watch time, like tunnel vision algorithm. We just weren't real. Like, we were doing, like, you'd have to go out of your way to do it, and you would do it, but it was still very controlled in the sense that like maybe there was one computer in the house and you weren't always stuck to the screen. That was still where like websites were websites. So we'd be like on Newgrounds or, playing different Flash games that maybe we shouldn't be playing or something. But I don't know. It felt very like, I don't know. I remember when like we had landlines. I remember so many things prior to like what the world became nowadays. And I almost feel like it's something that you like kids just aren't even remotely close to experiencing now.
We had our brain rot in moderation.
Yeah.
And now it's just all brain rot all the time.
Constant brain rot. Yeah.
Yeah. I can be guilty of, certainly.
Oh, sure. It's easy to go down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch dumb shit. All right. This is from the one. Hello, Summoners. Question for Brad and Dustin. What are your guys' plans for Summer Game Fest? Have a vlog series, an in-person Summon Sign episode of the games you played there, or is it just going to be a chill vacation trip for the boys? Hope you all have a good one.
Dude, I think the chill vacation trip, just like book a bunch of appointments, get accepted, and then just do no content about it. I like that idea, Brad.
Yeah, that is funny.
Just go check things out, and then we're like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
So what is the plan? Well, the main thing we have planned right now is that there will be a Summon Sign episode with Brad and I. I think we're going to do it in person. We just need to figure out how exactly we're going to do that. Talking about all the games that we're able to see there. So that's kind of the big piece of content. A vlog series sounds like a lot of work.
A series, sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Maybe could stick some bonus footage on Summon Sign or something like that. I don't know if we have anything.
That's a good idea. Like if I just take some clips, some various clips of us either at Summer Game Fest or, I don't know, eating in and out.
Yeah.
I think, that's a good idea to throw it in at the end there. But yeah, that's coming up so soon now.
Yeah.
I got to get ready, mentally prepared to fly. Not that it's that bad of a flight.
Oh, I know.
And I got a direct flight.
So. Oh, good. Nice. Yeah. Flying sucks though. So
yeah.
You should go to Frankensons.
Frankensons.
It's a card show. So you can go hunt for some One Piece TCG.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Add that to the vlog. Add that to the trip. It's very cool. It's they're only open like certain days though. But it's in what's that city called? City of something.
Industry?
City of Industry. Yeah, I'm not a LA local.
Yeah, here it is.
I'm always.
I've never been here. Yeah.
Names. It's cool.
Yeah, this looks insane.
Mm-hmm.
Brad,
That's vlog material. For sure.
That is.
Yeah. We haven't decided. We haven't talked about if we're going to go to Disney at all.
We haven't. Yeah.
I'm kind of honestly, I don't know. I'm interested, and also kind of like I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
In some ways. So
I guess we can just
decide.
We can like just impulse it if we want to go. Something like that.
We also should do, Brad, making plans on the fly. Since I'm getting there on Switch 2 launch night.
Yeah.
Mario Kart stream.
Yeah. That's what I was planning. Yeah.
That'll be sick.
We'll do that. Yours should come the next day. Yeah. So you'll at least have one soon. So you can have two. You're gonna keep one for Holly.
I asked her if she wanted it, and she said, "Well, I don't really need it right now because there's no games I want to play on it."
She doesn't want to play
like,
Bravely Default, or maybe she's already played that.
I don't think she has ever even heard the words Bravely Default, if I'm being honest, because
That
I've
seems
never
like
played it.
Seems like something she would like.
She probably would like it, but I was thinking, I'm like, she may not want it now, but is it possible the price will go up and I should just keep it?
Seems like it. I don't know.
Who knows what's going to happen? So we'll see.
You could.
There's honestly not very much I want to play on it either. I'll play Mario Kart, and I'm telling myself I'm going to play Tears of the Kingdom again. I'll probably play about 10 hours and then drop it.
Hey.
Realistically, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey.
With Death Stranding 2 coming out, like, come on.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom getting put away. So.
Absolutely. Are you getting a Switch 2, Ryan?
I am. Yeah. Okay. Got one ready to hopefully arrive day one. That'll be my Mario Kart World machine for who knows God how long. And it's basically there for like the Scarlet Violet patch, and then the next one.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna get Donkey Kong?
I don't know if I have time for Donkey Kong. That's maybe the only thing, you know.
Sure. Yeah. All right, dudes, let's talk about some games we've been playing. Dustin, we're going to start with you and me first right off the bat. Doom, the Dark Ages. That's the wrong category for Dustin for timestamps. There we go, Dustin.
There you go.
Future Dustin's pleased now.
I like how that comes up on Sacred too every once in a while. But when it happens, when Colin puts in the chat, he's like, "What's going on?" Like he
freaks out. Like,
take it easy. I just put it in the wrong chat.
Yeah.
But the audience has no idea what we're talking about. So it's fine.
But let's start with you, Dustin. Doom the Dark Ages, because you're probably further than me. I'm on mission 13, I think, maybe now, or something like that. So are you further than me?
I think I am. What's odd is that when I talked about it on Sacred Symbols, I told the audience that I thought I was 2/3 or 3/4 the way done. And then when I sat down to play, I was like, no, I'm actually at half. Halfway through. So, which I don't remember what mission number that is.
Yeah.
But there's a surprising amount of missions in this game. Like it's like pretty long. But yeah. So Doom the Dark Age. Do you want me to?
Go ahead and start.
Now? Yeah. Doom the Dark Age. It's weird. My feelings on this game have evolved rapidly throughout, and each episode I feel like I have a slightly different opinion about it. Starting off, I really respect that id Software has not just made Doom Eternal 2, you know, or they've decided to like completely change up what the format of, maybe not the format, but the core gameplay loop of their Doom trilogy is very distinct in each one, which I think is really cool, because a lot of ways you think of first person shooters and you're like, oh, I get it. Like, I know what that is, but they've managed to like really make the flow of each one very different. And of course, Doom the Dark Ages, I think on its surface level, at least when we first saw it, I had the impression of like, oh, it's going to be a slower Doom game. It's not. It's not slow at all, actually. It's really fast, and it just doesn't have like the verticality, I would say, of previous Doom games. There's no double jump. There's no fucking swinging around or doing stuff like that. I mean, maybe. No, I don't think there is any kind of swing mechanic.
Not that I've seen yet.
So there's very little verticality, but it makes up for it in its kind of back and forth combat where you have a shield, and so you can do parries and blocks, and so that's really been an interesting element of it. And I was saying about my opinion changing in that the first hour or so, I was like, okay, I see what they're going for here. I don't think I love it yet, but I think it's just that the game really starts to evolve as you unlock more guns, more abilities, stuff like that. And so it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe like mission 10 or something that I was like, oh yeah, this is like awesome now. Like I fully understand the mechanics. They've given me enough tools to keep things interesting. The guns are all really cool, dude. I love the Skull Crusher gun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's cool that like each weapon, maybe not each weapon, but most of them all have like alternate guns as well. So the Skull Crusher has like a really wide field and takes out like low level enemies really easily. But the alternate version is this one that shoots like a more concentrated beam, and it's almost like a minigun that once it ramps up does crazy damage, which is a lot of fun. The thing about the game now, and I think this is a me problem, boys, is that everything's really great and it's fun. I think that I'm just kind of getting to the point where I feel satisfied with the game, even though I'm not done with it. Like, right. I'm like, this isn't boring at all, but I feel like I'm kind of good. I'm going to finish it. It's just that I've noticed that the last few times I've played it, I've kind of been like, my play session is shorter because I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm good for now. So again, I mean, I know there's people that beat this like in the first 3 days and just hammered through it. And certain games, dude, I can go, goblin mode and play like 8 hours in a row or something like that. For some reason, this game is not that for me, where it's like I just get to the point where it's not even that I'm frustrated. I think I'm playing on Ultra Nightmare. Is that like normal?
No, I think that's like the hard one. Harder.
Harder. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'm playing on Ultra Nightmare, and it's been it didn't really start to get challenging until the last few missions for me, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a little dicey at points. There's points too that I'm unsure about, where you'll get into a combat arena and they're like, the boss is protected and you need to go around and kill lesser enemies before you can even attack the boss. And then once you kill all of those lesser enemies, which come in waves, then you can kill the boss. And I think it's because maybe if I am on a slightly harder difficulty, some of these have been really fucking annoying.
Long. They take a long time
like
sometimes.
I'm like just at the point where I unlock the boss to be able to shoot him. And then like I fuck up slightly, like too many hits hit me and I'm dead. I'm like, well, now it's time to do that entire process over again. So probably a skill issue on my part. But the last thing I'll say, because I wanted to ask you about this, Brad, since you're playing and I haven't talked to you about it, is the mech section, the mech sections of the game, not very good. Like I just feel like it was like a cool novelty where I'm like, dude, Doom guy's getting an Evangelion. Nice. I like to see it. Very neat. And then you start playing it and you're like, oh, this is so mechanically shallow. The only thing that's saving it from me being mad at it is that it's short. Like those sections are super short.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of any of the sections of the game where it's like the dragon stuff in the mech where it's like dodge this to do a powerful attack kind of thing like that. I think it works better in like when you're running around as Doom guy, but I'm not a fan of it so much in the mech. I do like in the mechs though when you get the guns, which is kind of rare because most of the time you're punching stuff. But I'm like, when you get a gun, it feels really cool. You're like blowing the fuck out of these huge demons. It's awesome. So I wish there was more of that. But I'm kind of with you, Dustin, in the sense that the game is really good, but I'm playing it and I'm like, I just don't know if I'm in the mood for a game like Doom right now. I just don't know. Like, it's good and I really think it's a solid game and I do enjoy it. I'm having fun. But I'm like, I just don't know if I'm in the mood for this right now. So maybe I'm being a little unfair to it, but I do think it's really fun. I really like how you were saying, Dustin, they like dramatically changed the gameplay and I have to kind of applaud them for that. I think it's awesome. I'm kind of torn on the melee focus of the game because in this one, it's like your shield is a huge part of you can do like the sick MBC2 Captain America charge. It's really good and you use it all the time. You can like throw your shield to stun guys, which is really fun. And to get ammo back, you melee them and you get your melee charges pretty frequently. So you're doing that a lot. You can kind of play the game with, it seems like 2 guns like the entire time. Like the super shotgun is insane in this game.
It's like borderline OP, I feel like. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not mad at it because it's
points
super
where I'm
shotgun.
like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm like blowing these huge guys away in like one shot. I'm like, wow, that was insane. But it's fun and I kind of miss the glory kills. I understand why they took them out because it kind of does slow down the pace. But some of the kills don't feel satisfying as I was hoping they would. But I don't know.
Well,
they
still kind of slow down the pace anyway. Because there's still times where it slows it down a lot.
Yeah, actually. On like some of like the more like rarer enemies, I guess, or occasional enemies you fight, they do the glory kill still. But it's just not as frequent. But I do like how heavy Doom Guy feels. Like when you stomp, it like sounds like a elephant hitting the ground. He's like super heavy. And he jump, it does like a shockwave and explodes all these guys.
Yeah.
What do you think of the kind of like more open nature of the design for levels this time?
I think it's cool. I'm finding it pretty satisfying trying to 100% each level. I really like that the map kind of just tells you where everything is. And
yeah, it does.
I actually kind of like that because you'll be like, okay, I know a secret's here, but how do I get to it? And so it removes, it would be annoying if you have these giant open maps and you're like, fuck, I've got 3 pieces of gold and 1 secret, but I have no idea where to even look. So I think that that's kind of like a happy medium between the two. There was one instance where there was a secret on the map and I couldn't get to it until the very end of the level. And I spent 15 minutes like hopping around this area because I was like, there's a secret here and I should be able to get in here. But it wasn't just, I had to do part of the story to come back. It's like, okay. So
yeah, that happened to me too.
The big sections are cool though. I think it's neat that there are moments in this game where it almost feels like Returnal in a small way, where it's like just like bullet hell everywhere. You are like almost like not literally dodging, but like moving and swaying out of the way, circle strafing, doing all kinds of stuff like that. The larger levels and the larger amount of enemies is definitely really cool and unique compared to
it feels like some of them are actual like battlefields. It feels like you're fighting like a ton of guys at one time, which is super impressive. But at the same time, you can tear through like 30 guys in 1 second. Like one shield bash can just kill so many, I guess.
Right.
Playing it, Dustin, I kind of do miss the verticality in like the combat because there isn't a lot in like combat arenas. It's mostly seems like flat. So I kind of miss like the ups and downs and like taking a lot of cover, I suppose, like that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's tough. My favorite part of Eternal was the fact that it was practically a platformer. And I liked hopping around, swinging, stuff like that. The part of Eternal that I don't want to say like I didn't like it didn't ruin the game for me or anything like that, but your ammo count is so limited that you're constantly swapping weapons, and I found that to be a little unsatisfying. So this one, you can use the same weapons a lot longer, but it doesn't have that verticality. So I feel like somewhere out there, my perfect Doom game exists that does have the verticality, but maybe let's use the weapons a little longer, things like that. So overall, it's one of those things where I miss it, but I'm totally fine with this being a different kind of Doom.
Yeah. Me too. What do you think about the dragon sections?
I also think they're kind of lame. They're not as lame as the kaiju or the giant mech parts. The stupid little mini game you do when you lock on to something
that's my
and
least
then you
favorite part of
dodge left and right. I think that's dumb.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that.
Chris was saying there is a feeling of like Halo 3 when you're on a Banshee and you like land down on a Scarab and go in and take it out. And that's true. But it has a little bit of that feeling, but it feels very like, I don't want to say scripted, but it's like you go and you hover and you have a landing point. It's not you going and landing. It goes into a cutscene.
Yeah.
The Doom guy flies down, and then you're in the thing, and then you get back on. So it doesn't have quite that level of freedom to me to feel as satisfying for that. But it's one of those things there. Those sections aren't bad at all.
No.
But it's, I guess in one sense too, I'm saying about how I'm kind of like getting satiated and I'm bored isn't the right word, but it's like I have enough. It's just unfortunate when they do change it up. I don't really like those sections all that much either.
Yeah, it's definitely a game where I'm like, this is a game I really need to finish to have like a good opinion on it because it's changed. Like as I'm playing the game, it's constantly changing, I suppose, like that, which is an interesting touch. What do you think of the story in the game? Or like the focus on story. Yeah.
I just don't care. It's one of those things where I was thinking about this because we played a game recently, Monster Hunter Wilds, that has a lot of story. And I also didn't care. And the story in that game kind of actively pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like,
because you're forced to ride along with them and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was like
forever.
It wasn't always a skip. You got to ride along. There's that one kid that's really fucking annoying. And I was like, okay, the story's actually actively annoying me in this game. The cutscenes in Doom are pretty short. I usually watch them. I'm at the point where I probably could skip them, but sometimes cool stuff visually happens.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's funny because Doom is such like this, like, heavy metal, dark game or whatever. But I'm like, there's some nerdy ass shit going on here. Like, this is some dark fantasy dork stuff, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And I just don't care.
I wonder how you feel about this. So far, my biggest criticism, I guess, or one of my biggest criticisms, Dustin, is the music in the game. It feels very quiet to me, and I almost never notice it.
So I bumped up the music because I saw a lot of people online saying like, oh yeah, bump up the music, turn down the rest of the sound a little bit, which I did. And so I am hearing the music a lot more, but I'm not really noticing it still, just because it's not bad by any means, but it definitely leans a little bit more on the generic sounding of what you would expect for a Doom game. Sometimes it really does hit though, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
But I think that Doom 2016 and Eternal just had such a unique blend of that Doom sound that you would expect with some things you wouldn't expect too. Chris was saying how it sounds a little funky at points, and that I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of does at points. So it's lacking a little bit of that originality, but I do still recommend bumping it up a little bit because I think it is.
I'll have to try that.
It feels weird. I'm like, were you guys ashamed of this soundtrack? That you were like, not ashamed like it's bad, but they knew that like people are going to compare this to Mick Gordon's soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put it in, but we're not going to make it a main focal point of the gameplay anymore.
Yeah, which is kind of disappointing because it feels like the last two Dooms were like that. And it feels weird to just kind of throw it in the background. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm fighting with the music, kind of like how I used to in the other two. From what I remember, it's been a while, but
right.
I don't know. It's strange. But yeah, I'll definitely play more of the game. I'll definitely finish it. It's a great game. Just don't know if I'm in the mood for it right now. Ryan, you have any interest in Doom Dark Ages?
This is the kind of game that I'm fine with it being like a backseat sort of thing. Like, I'll get to it whenever I get to it.
Yeah.
Not to say I don't like Doom, but it's just like it was not even remotely high on the priority list. Not amongst things like Clair Obscur or Blueprints came out and everyone's loving that. And I don't know. It's just not a priority for me. But it's been interesting hearing a lot about it. Seems like there's been so much contention surrounding it. Definitely comparing it to Eternal in 2016. So from the outside looking in, I'm curious where people fell on that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say where I'll end up in the end. Maybe this game will just blow me away by the end. I have no idea, but so far it's good, but it's just not as great as I'd want it to be yet.
I'm trying to be responsible with it in a way, if this makes sense, where when I was playing last time, I was kind of feeling like I didn't want to play anymore. And then I kept playing, and then I started getting frustrated because I started to play bad. And I was like, if I keep pushing this right now, because it gets to a point where I start playing a game long enough and I know another game's on the horizon that I'll push myself, and that kind of can taint the experience of it. So Doom's one of those games where it's like, I'm not going to get the story spoiled for me. So I'm just going to let it sit a few days. And then when I come back to it, it might feel like super fun and amazing to play again just because I've had some time away from it. So I'm just going to take my time.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. I'm going to be trying to do the same thing. But there's a lot of games coming up. Night Rain is soon.
Oh,
so
dude.
We'll be playing that.
It's over.
Are you a Souls guy, Ryan?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Cool. Okay, we're in good company then. All right. Here's a write-in for Doom. This is from Pitbull Loose in a Nursery. Only retards think the new Doom is bad.
Is he talking to Maddie? Did Maddie not like it?
I think Maddie, from what I remember, Maddie saying it was good, but not great.
What I think is interesting, I don't know. I'm sure other people have said this. It's a cold take, but even if you don't like it, I feel like you can appreciate that they did something different.
Yeah,
you know?
I really appreciate that. I think that's really sick.
Like, some people are going to like the Eternal loop the best. I've always kind of leaned that the Doom 2016 combat is my favorite, where it's kind of a little bit slower. It still has some platforming stuff. but it's certainly not a bad game.
No.
Like at all.
Not at all. No.
I think even if you didn't like the feeling of the gameplay loop, it's like it would be hard to be like, yeah, this game's bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. No.
In our modern hot take era, a game is either the most amazing thing ever or it's hot trash.
Yeah,
it's
there's no in between. So. Yeah. Let's see here. This is from 6th Gen Console Enjoyer. Hey, Summoning Archviles. Is it time for id to move on to another IP, or should they stick with Doom? They've done a fantastic job with the entire trilogy, but I would love to see them resurrect Quake. Quake is a weird franchise that the first game is about cosmic shit I don't understand. Quake 2 and 4 are traditional sci-fi, and Quake 3 was focused on multiplayer. But I trust in Hugo and the team to figure out what makes another awesome game. What do you think, Dusty? You think they should move on from Doom?
I definitely think they should move on from Doom. I was thinking this. I didn't want to raise it as a criticism towards the game, but it's like when I got to the level where I'm in hell, I was like, oh, here I am again. Once again, I'm in hell.
That's like every Doom game. Yeah, you gotta go hell.
And they've done an amazing job. And I'm glad that there's 3 of them, but I would like to see them move on. And a lot of people are bringing up Quake. I've played a little bit of Quake 1 and 2, and I definitely played, was it Quake 4 on 360, the launch game? Yeah. And that one was cool. I think it would be cool to see them do Quake, especially if they lean towards Quake 1, which is less sci-fi and more like cosmic horror type. That would be cool. But I mean, this team is so talented. It would be great to see them do a new IP.
Sure. Yeah.
But I understand that it's much more risky to do that. But they've been constrained by like, oh, we got to have this enemy that's in every Doom game in this game. We got to have this guy. It's always Doom guy. We got to have these weapons. It's like, I want to see what they can do unleashed, where it's like, we don't have to pull from anything.
Right.
We can make 12 weapons that are totally whatever we want them to be. And we're not constrained to like, oh, it's a Doom game, so it has to be this.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? You want to see him try something new?
For sure. I would always advocate for a studio that's super well known for like 1 or 2 particular IPs to go off and do something new. That's a problem though. So many studios and certainly publishers are so risk averse nowadays.
Yeah.
God forbid we put in the money to try something a little bit different or against the grain of what we expect from them.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, Dustin. If they do Quake, cool. I don't have a lot of experience with Quake, so it'll be kind of almost all new to me, but I'm kind of like, let that team do whatever they want. To me, they've proven they got the chops to just kind of make anything they want. What would you think about them not making an FPS? It seems strange. I feel like id is such an FPS studio.
Yeah. I was listening to Digital Foundry. I think it was on their podcast. They were talking about like people asking like, why don't they make the next Halo in id Tech? Because it's so performant. And their response, I highly recommend listening to that clip, but they're talking about how, well, id Tech is performant because it's designed for Doom.
Right.
And of course, they it runs Indiana Jones, but probably with a lot of support from id. And the other reason, not only is it designed for Doom, but id in particular really cares about performance. So their games are performant. My point, though, overall is that their tech is probably heavily designed to make a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's not that they couldn't make something that is not an FPS. It would just require probably a lot of back-end, like they'd have to really develop the engine tech. So I think that there's a lot they could still do, even if it's a first-person shooter, to make it unique. And I mean, they've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
Where they've made 3 FPS games that are totally unique, yet are still Doom games. So yeah, I think that they should probably stick with first person. But if they want the challenge, they've shown that they like are really apt in like from a technical perspective, dude. Doom runs so good on my PC.
Yeah, it does.
I'm getting like, which I have a 4090, so that's like very high end
nice.
But when I have it in 4K and everything maxed out, and I am using frame gen because the base frame rate's really high, so it doesn't like fuck with the latency. So it's like 170 frames, and it is glorious.
Yeah, that's very nice. Love to hear that. All right, speaking of something I would love to hear about, Ryan, you're playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Me and Dustin are big fans of this game, so I'm very curious to hear what you think.
Oh, geez. I almost feel guilty about it because I was telling Dustin, I'm like, I'm taking forever with this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's been months. I've forgotten what life was like before it. And like, it's a running joke on me and John's show, Click R3, of like, I just can't fucking get through this game. I don't have as much free time to play games nowadays. I think if I was in high school still, I would love this shit.
Yeah.
And I do love it now, but like I would be a fiend for it in the sense that I'd like put in 8-hour days right up until I'm done with it. Like I always think about how like, I don't know, when Final Fantasy X came out, or even X-2, which X-2 is like an absolute nightmare to 100%. But I like was happy-go-lucky, like I'm going to do this shit, and I did it, and I would do it in like 2 weeks or something. This game, it's just like cranked up to like volume 9 as far as like the whole, and I get it, which is you get to Calm, and that's where the game really, you know, if we're talking the PS1 original, it opens up. You have this sense of like, holy shit, there's so much more to do. And in a weird way, like I think they actually nailed that 20 something years later when you get to Rebirth and it does open up. It's like so different from Remake where the game's super linear. Now it really does feel like you have so much at your fingertips. Having said that, it's just super overwhelming. And I don't know if you know this. I'm kind of like Colin. Like I like doing everything. I like going for platinums. I like going for trophies. And this game demands everything from you. From that perspective. Yeah. And I like doing it as a sort of rising tide for all boats kind of thing. Like I don't want to just like beeline it and then go back. I like when I run into something, I want to do it. And that goes for like all these fucking mini games it throws at you. Like, and it'll show you. It's very much the checkmark behavior of we've got 3 ranks. And yeah, guess what? I'm not leaving until I get that 3rd one. And so like the one I did recently, so where I am in the game right now, I'm in, I just left Gungaga. So I'm in Cosmo Canyon. So I just got to Cosmo Canyon. I'm doing the like Chocobo flying.
Oh, ring. Right. The glide or whatever. Yeah.
So I got the first mini game that like was just super huge pain in the ass for me. It was like the 3rd round of, because there's 3 different Chocobo things you have to ring through, and the 3rd one's an absolute nightmare to the point where I'm looking up a YouTube like quick strategy, which typically I only save that for like when I feel like I absolutely have to research that. And after finishing that one, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. It's just, but I'm enjoying my time though. Like it's not like I dislike it. I don't feel like it's a chore. I do enjoy every sort of moment, but man, the game has so much to where when I get to mainline like big plot points, they're so like far between each other. And the game's it's 20 something years onward from the original. I don't remember 7 that well to the point where like, I don't know, like when I think about remakes, sometimes there's like, you can put them up side by side and it's really cool to appreciate like how the game was remade. When you're talking about this long of a jump from PS1 and there's so many like liberties they're going to take as far as how they interpret the scene and how the characters look and how they sound and everything, they just look so radically different in some cases, especially if they do take enough liberties to the point where it's like a completely different scene. So I'm also like not remembering certain moments that come up that maybe like they like, I don't know, like also like when you're younger, right? You always have those like core memories. A core memory for me in 7 was like when you're on the ship and like Red 13's trying to walk on 2 feet and everyone's and everyone's wearing the same outfits. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what they may or may not do with that. But in Rebirth, it's like, it's totally fucking different. It's like you're on a goddamn cruise basically. And it's like, it's like you're vacationing almost in a sense. Whereas the original, you're going undercover. So I was like waiting for that moment, but sure enough, there was like a thing that came up eventually where Red 13 was on 2 feet, and it was super. It was super. it was incredibly goofy how they did it, but I don't know. There's like so many mixed things going on for me with this game where it's taking forever. I'm doing everything. I'm not disliking my time with it, but I'm slightly feeling that pressure of so many things are going by me right now, like Clair Obscur I mentioned, Blueprints, or like I still got to go back to God, like Silent Hill 2 remake, and basically I'm like sitting here going like, can I get this shit done before Death Stranding 2? And that's like a genuine concern for me. But I think what I'm going to do is keep the pace I'm going with, and then I'll when I see the ending, then I'll go back. I will put it down after the ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of my attitude, because I know the platinum is going to take like another playthrough and probably another 100 or so hours. So that's sort of where I am right now.
Yeah, I think that game is kind of a nightmare if you're the kind of person where you're like, okay, like you're saying, they introduce some sort of thing like a mini game or a quest, and you're like, okay, I have to do this right now, because it just like throws out quests. Like it's like throwing up content at you essentially that you can do if you want. So I understand that, but I'm curious about how you'll feel about it at the end from a story perspective and all that kind of stuff.
I know that's the thing I keep hearing about, and so far, it's like, I don't know, it's very similar to 7 in that, the game's sort of trying to subvert expectations with the whispers, and we've broken fate so that the timeline can start changing. And so I'm certainly prepping myself for like something that's going to shock me or surprise me. I don't know. I'll see when I get there. Right now, it's been primarily like it just like this sensory overload of like, there is just so much to do, and I am enjoying it. It's not like I'm not enjoying it,
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, it's a massive game. What do you think about like the combat in the game?
Combat's good. I don't know. I guess I'm one of those people where it's like, I would have been fine with turn-based combat. I would have been fine with it. You know what? I think it's so relevant too with like 16, for example, which is like basically like a DMC more or less. It's like action combat, more super like action focused. And I always appreciate how 16 took that like leap of faith of like, maybe it's, let's try something different. Here's like, because there's always, actually it's very similar parallels to what you guys were saying with Doom. You expect the same type of enemies. You expect the same type of, similar gameplay themes. And so there's always like an expectation of what a Final Fantasy could be. And I really appreciate how 16 did so many different things. So it's like, okay, 16 is great for that. Maybe with the 7 remake project, which is going to be a 10-something goddamn year thing. And this game means so many things to so many people. I mean, I've heard everything they've said as far as like, we want to, do something different. That way there's something there for people that have never played the story and they expect the story. Like, I get all of what they were laying down. I'm still, even this far into Rebirth, feeling like I would have been cool with something that is a lot more traditional, or at least closer to what I was expecting from the combat. I don't know if it had to be like full blown turn-based combat, because maybe that's more relevant to like, again, Clair Obscur. It reignites that conversation of like, turn-based is still really enjoyable for a lot of folks. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in between this line of thinking of, I like this game. I wish I could keep this, and also another version of the game that is full blown turn-based combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of torn combat. Yeah.
What's unique about your experience playing this game right now is, for Brad and I, we were playing on the base PS5. And so you're kind of lucky in that you're playing, I'm assuming you're playing on PS5 Pro. We were just talking about this on Sacred Symbols because a listener asked how we were feeling about the Pro, 7 months or so, on a decent amount of months now. I was like, it's been good, and some of the games I've played with Pro enhancements have been, better. But if I was playing Rebirth for the first time, I would feel like PS5 Pro fucking rules. So how's that experience been?
Yeah, that's the good thing about getting the game so late. Because this title was like definitely propped up as like, this is the first very sensible Pro enhancement where it's so tangible, and it does look gorgeous. I feel like I am getting the best of both worlds. It doesn't look like a smeared oil painting, and the performance is generally pretty good. I will say this: what's still really bothering me, and I thought the Pro was maybe going to help this, but it's it's the same damn CPU, so I don't know if this is like a CPU bound problem, but like, pop-in is still like a huge issue in this game. And it's still like, there's very few things like, do I love good performance? Obviously. I'm not super snobby in the sense that like, I'm fine with like the game having hiccups occasionally. Any game, mind you. I'll fucking go play PS3 games all the time, and those games ran like absolute dog water. So I don't mind it at all. The one thing that does sort of annoy me a bit, definitely, is when a game is like super heavy on pop-in. So like this game, even on Pro, it's like if you're somewhere with like a lot of dense foliage, which is damn near everywhere in this game, the grass is fucking growing all the time. It's the grass is constantly growing as you're walking, and that definitely drives me up a wall. Otherwise, though, the game is very pretty. It's very pretty, and it's technically sound.
Yeah.
What's been like your favorite location you've been in the game so far?
I'll
that
say
you can recall.
Dude, I'll say my least. I'll say my least favorite. Gongaga.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Gongaga. Yeah, because the navigation.
100%. Yeah, I mean, as I'm playing it, I'm like, this is the place people hate. I didn't even have to ask you guys. I'm like, this is the place people hate. It's a pain in the dick. The other thing that bothers me too, I don't know if this is like a super quirky thing for me, but it's like, I don't know if this is like an OCD type of behavior thing. I like when in open world games, you're filling out the map, as you're walking through the environment, you can check your map and it's sort of like it clouds away as you're walking through it. Right.
Yeah.
I sort of wish it was something where, because that like perimeter around you as you're walking, it's got like an opacity layer to it for the very outer ring. So if you're not super thorough with exploring the map, you're going to have these blotches of grayed out areas all around the map. And I fucking hate that. I wish it was like a more defined circle so it's easier to clump out those sections that you haven't seen just yet. Or when you like go to those towers and it tells you, like, here's a battle thing you can do. Here's another spring you can go check out. Why doesn't that just fill out the map? It only shows you those locations. That's one of those things where navigation wise, I wish the game didn't obfuscate that information so much, because if you didn't, you have to like get to where you're going before you realize, this place is barred off, or in Gongaga it's so vertical and there's like very specific points where you can climb a rope or a chocobo can get through it. And it irritates the living shit out of me. Every other area has been totally fine.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character to play as? They all play pretty different.
I stick mostly with Tifa, Barrett, and Cloud in like general use cases, but I like switching between Yuffie a lot. Red 13, I'm not crazy with Red 13. I don't like a special where you kind of like have to like take damage to then use that special ability. Yuffie's good. I think Aerith's great in certain use cases. Now I'm finally have Kate Sith, so with Kate Sith, I think I'm kind of experimenting, and I just like even in cases where maybe like it's not a great situation, I just like throwing the dice.
Yeah, I think he's really fun actually.
I'm like playing as him. Like let's see what this. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Because the original, that's where it's like you're young and you definitely, in my case, I didn't play the game in such a manner where I'm constantly experimenting and trying different characters. You pick your core three and you kind of stick with them for as long as the story lets you stick with them. But here, like as an adult, I'm like changing between characters more often, but I still stick with like Tifa and Barrett for a lot of it.
Yeah. Dustin, it's been a while since we played it. Have any of your thoughts or opinions changed about the game over time?
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of the PC version when that came out.
Oh, yeah.
And was checking it out, and it was obviously really beautiful on PC. And yeah, I respect how dense the game is, and I respect that for the most, like, the mini games are all like, you play them and you're like, this is fun and I like this. Maybe not all of them, but I could see that the completionist, it's like, oh, you need to be the best at this mini game, and you're like, okay, it's not that good. I enjoyed it the first time I played it, but it's not that enjoyable. I'm really curious what they'll do with the third one. Like how, like, most developers, when they make a game, they want each one to be better than the last. And I'm like, man, it's going to be tough to follow up. But yeah, in hindsight, looking back, I was being pretty thorough at the beginning of playing that game. And then as I kept playing, I was like, nah, I just need to know what
story
happens.
Yeah.
And And I've always thought about going back to my PS5 save and playing again. But then it's like, man, I haven't played this in like a year, and I'm probably going to be trash at it. So yeah, it's a game that I look back on really fondly, and I think it's because I didn't go crazy with it. Which everyone's like, Ryan and Colin, that's how you guys thoroughly enjoy games. I know that specifically, I think of Final Fantasy 15. I got the platinum in that game, and when I got the platinum, I was like, "Fuck this!" I love it. I like this game. In fact, I love this game, but I also hate it right now. And so it took like a few years for me to like recalibrate. I'm like, actually, Final Fantasy 15 is awesome. I've forgotten. My mind has moved past the fishing mini game to the point where I'm able to think about the story and things like that. So, yeah, I'd like to go back at some point, maybe closer, maybe when part 3 is revealed.
Yeah. Do you think it's the one thing that also sticks out to me, and I don't know if this is the same mileage for you two, but I feel like this was the entry where like the party's going to talk so much to each other and flesh out those relationships, and they're doing that, but I maybe it's just not hitting the way I was expecting it to. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I've spent so much time with the game, and like, I don't know, there's so many other open world experiences where like the party has these dialogue lines that'll just come up. And it's like those little lines that help the characters flesh out their relationships. And they really don't do that really that often in this game. There's like, I've got 6-7 party members with me, and they're really not talking to each other. Only during like key moments do they have like a few lines to each other.
Yeah. Well, I think something to keep in mind with this is part 2. So part 3, I think we'll dive even deeper into that, because it's going to, if we know the other, like the original Final Fantasy VII. But I don't know. I feel like there was good development with the characters, like with the bond meter. You could spend time with all of them and kind of stuff like that and learn more about them and some of their backstories. But there is still more room to tell stuff, in my opinion, which they will in part 3. But yeah, I guess I wasn't feeling like hungry for more necessarily like you are right now. I'm not sure. I'm curious how you feel about it when you get to the end of the game.
For sure. I'm hoping I'll be done with it like in the next three-ish
You're pretty
weeks.
far in the game. Yeah.
Again, before Death Stranding 2. That's my big concern.
Yeah, I think you can make that.
I really don't want to miss Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, and that's like what, a month from now?
Yeah. I'm somebody that I don't want to like put down a game, especially like this, for something else. I have to like see it through, feel like satisfied with it, and then move on. Like I do not want to put down 100-something hour game and then have to go back to it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you playing Queen's Blood?
Oh yeah, big. Hey, it's something to do in the game. If I run into it, I'm doing it.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah,
and that's actually been fun. It's been
Queen's Blood's really fun.
It's been way more fun than I thought, and it's very accurate with like my pillhead Yu-Gi-Oh brain right now. I'm like, oh, cool, TCG. So it's like it's actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
I remember Queen's Blood is like the first in-game card game, like mini game that I've ever been into. I remember Witcher 3, they tried to show me how to play Gwent, and I was like, nah, I don't ever want to do this. And people love Gwent. I'm not saying it's a quality of the mini game. They made a spin-off of Gwent. It was so popular. So no disrespect towards it. But when I got introduced to that, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that in this game. Whereas Queen's Blood, I don't know if it's just simple enough, but not always. I mean, dude, some of the later Gwent games do get pretty tricky, but I actually was like, man, I'm spending a lot of time playing Queen's Blood, and I would love dude, if they made a mobile spin-off of Queen's Blood,
they probably will.
I'm in. I'm there.
Yeah. You didn't play Final Fantasy VIII back in the day, right, Dustin?
No.
Because Triple Triad and that was good shit. And Tetramaster and 9, also good shit. All right. Very cool. Yeah, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on the game when you finish it. It's been a long road for you. So you'll get there, though. I believe you'll get there before Death Stranding 2.
God, I hope so. I miss my family.
Speaking of Death Stranding, Dustin, you've been playing Death Stranding 1. You're revisiting it.
Hell
yeah. This kind of happened on a whim this weekend. To be honest, I was like, man, they've talked about Doom a lot on Summon Sign, and so I'd like to bring something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw this, and I was like, I don't want to burn myself out before 2, but it's early enough that I can kind of take this at a leisurely pace and kind of mainline it. And I want to remember the story is the main thing. Is that it's funny, even from playing the beginning again, I was like, oh, there's a lot of this that I've already somehow forgot. I'm not super far yet. In fact, I just got to it's like there's the capital city and then there's the first station after that.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to that, which sounds really early, but man, the intro of this game,
it's a long intro. Yeah.
It's a harder intro on its second go when you know a little bit about the world and you know how the game plays, where you're like, okay, please stop holding my hand. Please stop calling me every 5 fucking seconds. Like, it's just, the intro is fun. Dude, first time playing it, I had no problem with the intro, but now playing it again, I'm like, ugh.
Die Hardman calling you constantly, or dude, Dead Man. Mm-hmm.
It's funny. There's a lot of like Kojima wackiness that I already forgot about too. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's name is Die Hardman.
Yeah.
And he's introducing me to the enemies, the Homo demons. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is why this game rules.
I forgot their names. I forgot that.
But yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about like, man, playing the intro of the game, I could see this being a tough intro for some people, where it is really basic at the beginning, where it's like, here's a ladder, here's a rope. But I'm thinking about the end of my last playthrough, where I'm like, I'm building an entire zipline network. I'm going to be able to take all this shit with me. I have the cart, like all this kind of stuff. And how much it evolves. And so I could see people being put off by the beginning of this game.
Oh yeah.
But man, even though it's basic and the tutorials have been annoying, getting back into this world, I'm like, man, this game still is super awesome. And it's been fun because I'm thinking about Death Stranding 2, and I sort of watched the last big, like, when they announced like the pre-orders and the special edition, there was like that one really big trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it one time, and so I've not gone back to it. So I like kind of remember some of it. So I'm thinking about like what Death Stranding 2 is going to be like. And I'm just getting really excited for it. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Brad, did you recently replay it too for your video?
Pretty recently, yeah.
How did you find going back to it?
I love Death Stranding. I think it's a fucking awesome game. It's a game that, like, when someone's like, I don't like Death Stranding, I'm like, oh yeah, I 100% get it. It makes total sense to me. It's
right.
Definitely not a game for everybody. It is such a unique game, and there's nothing really like it. Like, think about it. It is a UPS delivery sim game. That's what you are doing the entire game. But Kojima manages to make it extremely interesting. Even just doing basic shit like you're talking about, like building a ladder and putting it up there. He adds this cool little twist where it's like, hey, here's other players' stuff in the world. You could find your friend, like people on your friends list leaving their shit out in the world. And it makes this really cool bonding moment. It's like, it reminded me a lot of like Demon Souls back in the day, Dustin, when you summoned someone for like the first time, when that kind of co-op was like a brand new idea where you're like, whoa, the stranger's totally helping me out. I have no idea who they are. That's the kind of feeling I almost get in Death Stranding. And I just love like the goofy aspect of like carrying cargo is like a big part of the game. Mechanics to like strap yourself in and like go down the mountain so you don't fall down and eat shit, and BB starts freaking out, all this kind of stuff. I really love all that stuff. And I just think the world is extremely interesting, even just to be in.
Right.
It's like so haunting, and it has this element of danger constantly, but it is still very peaceful a lot of times out there. You know, you could just be having a great time with BB. Sky's very nice. The weather's great. Nice ambiance going on, waterfalls. Then it just starts raining, and your little thing goes, and you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Yeah. It's so good.
I love how you mentioned like falling down a cliff and totally eating shit. This game has this element to it where it's like every once in a while you'll pull off, you're like about to eat shit, and you're like, oh, and you yourself and you're like, yes. Or like you make a jump or something on like the motorcycle and you're like, nice, nailed it. And then there's times where it's just like it adds insult to injury. Like you fall down, then you're in a river, your packages are going all over the place. Then it's like, you're like, no, like it just completely shits on you. But in some way, it's like fun that it like can like the way that it can rapidly decline when something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where you're like, yeah, I bit off more than I could chew with this. Like I definitely shouldn't have gone this far with this many packages. But
yeah, like how satisfying it is to like build just like a bridge in the game and just knowing you're going to have that bridge there for routes in the future, or someone's like bridge appears in your world. You're like, oh, thank God. It's such like a great sigh of relief because traversal is like the name of the game here. Have you felt about like the mules and stuff like that? Have you really run into them again?
So I just had the first mule encounter because that's when you're going from there's like a midway station between your starting area and then the second place, and that's when it introduces the mules. And I'll have to see when I start playing more and I kind of like have more of a choice on whether to interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that being a kind of a weaker part of the game when I first played it, that I was like, I guess you don't have to do combat, but there was situations where it's like, okay, now I'm surrounded. I have to fight these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember it being kind of annoying, but we'll see with this second playthrough how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan, here's some of your thoughts about Death Stranding. You are an enthusiast as well.
Yes. Love the game. I think a lot of you hit the nail on the head. It's just such an unconventional game. Unconventional in the sense that like it's just, I don't know. It's like a Kojima game. The guy gets like this sort of blank check to make a game like this. It's so goddamn ridiculous. That was my experience with the game. With the game at first, though, is very much the sort of slow burn of like, oh, I don't know if I actually like this or not. I felt very like, I don't know. I'm doing like that first delivery to that. I can't remember all the goddamn names. Something not city. And I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Eventually, that gameplay hook sort of like got me. It's now that's what I always tell people is like you either like love what this game is doing, which very much is the sort of in a way reductive comment of like, yeah, you're delivering packages, but like you were getting at, there's like so many different layers to it that actually gets super engaging.
Yeah.
In a way that you just wouldn't think for this game. And it hooked me. It hooked me big time. The thing that I always really appreciated is like that sort of end game portion where once you do like the gameplay loop then becomes like, I'm not going to bring 50 ladders with me. I'm going to expect that I'll find the ones that I need to find. Mm-hmm. And maybe the one extra ladder I brought is my like contingency plan. And it was always so goddamn satisfying to like know that like, oh, I knew somebody was going to have a ladder around here. Use that. I knew I was going to find this. Oh, I can't really find anything to get over this ledge. Here's where I'll use my one emergency ladder. And like getting to the end always just felt so damn good. And then that super late game thing of like, the first time I saw a road, I'm like, what the fuck? There's a road in this game? I'm like, oh shit, this would make driving so much easier. And then I'm like, oh wait, you can actually just straight up build this thing out. Then you see a zip line for the first time and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get on it and it's like, oh, there's nowhere for it to go to. And I'm like, fuck, how do I make another one? How do I connect it? And then like, sure enough, like if you're going for like the platinum and you want to like fill out all the delivery, whatever the requirements or whatever the case is, then you like, I remember just, it was so fast. It's like, I could start like, it's one of those like put on a podcast games. So then I'm like listening to music or a podcast and I'm just sitting here ziplining across the whole damn city like it's nothing, or just getting into the giant vehicles and driving around. And it just felt so damn good by the end of it in a way that I think I wasn't expecting it at all. The enemies, like the thing is, I don't want to say I didn't care for BTs or mules, but they very much became a nuisance in the sense of like, I just don't want to deal with you. Mm-hmm. I liked that hook better of like, yeah, I want to make deliveries. I just want to do resource management. I just want to do deliveries. If I, God forbid, got to a point where like the clicker thing went off and I'm like, okay, there's BTs around, I would just straight up be like, I don't want to deal with this. I just drive around them. Or I'd find a way to like not I'd rather take a huge detour than to drive through BTs. Like, I don't want to have to cover my mouth and like go super, super slow. And, or like if you get to a BT that you just can't get around, you have to walk up to it slowly and cut its like umbilical cord. At a certain point, the enemies, I think, were a hindrance on my playthrough.
Do you think that's more because like you were going for the platinum and really doing like crazy deliveries constantly?
I think I was feeling like that like well before the end game stuff.
Okay.
Like the first time you encounter like the mules and BTs, I think it's definitely cool. And oh geez, how do I deal with these guys? But I don't know, like by the fifth or sixth encounter, I'm like, okay, these are like they're the same every time. I think at that point, from what I recall, like they don't really throw you any curveballs. First time you see a BT, that's kind of like what they always do, unless you get caught and then you fight the fucking dolphin or where the fuck that thing is.
Yeah.
And then like the mules, like there are those missions where like you have to go into a mule camp and like steal an item or something.
Yeah.
And those are like, you could just cheese those. Like you could just beeline like right to where you have to go. Like just fuck it. Just go right to it. Takes damage, like take a little bit of hits to your, doesn't matter. Just pick it up and leave. Mm-hmm. I never felt the need to like use a bola gun on him or something.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of MGS5 in that sense. It's like, here's this space. You have this big space. You can kind of do it how you want. Like MGS5, you can just run in or you can take people out slowly. Kind of one of those things. Obviously not as good as MGS5 gameplay wise, but
yeah,
a little bit of that DNA in there for me. Let's see here. Dexter's Juro wrote in, hey, Summon Sign crew, would love to know the moment in Death Stranding that made you go, oh, we have something here. By far and away, for me, it was the music and how each song is placed so perfectly in the game. Lore was the perfect band for this game. Much love to everyone LSM and to Mystic Ryan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, there is, dude, the soundtrack of this game, like when you're in that intro, it's probably the best part of the intro when it kind of like the camera pulls back and it starts playing the music as you're walking. You're like, whoa, this is pretty interesting. But so I think from like a setting and tone, it's set pretty well from the beginning where I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. But it wasn't from a gameplay perspective till later on where it really starts to get addictive of, like Ryan would say, the delivering the packages, figure like, oh, there's roads here. Okay, maybe if I can build up these roads or if I can set up this here, I'll have like a nice path that I can make a bunch of deliveries where it's like, oh, okay, like I get the delivery simulator aspect of it that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in.
What about you, Ryan? Can you think of a moment?
Yeah, I just like they were saying, it's like the perfectly timed tracks that kick in during like a very particular delivery. And if I recall correctly, there's low roar in the beginning. I don't remember the track for the second one, but it's when you're delivering or you're carrying the body to the facility. That's the second track. I believe the third track is like one of the early game deliveries where it's like one of the longest ones. It's like across like most of the map from like once you get to the western side of the map, and you know the game's open, but like there's no way to not get around this like giant mountain. So I believe it's that third track where as you come over the mountain and you start going downhill, like just over that peak, you see the delivery center like off in the distance. So as you start tumbling down the mountain, of course you got to like hold your parcel, and so you're just trying to like go down. That's when the third track kicks in, and that was a very particular moment. I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is beautiful in a way that I wasn't at all expecting, and that was after the first two tracks had kicked in for like those first two deliveries.
Yeah. I'm trying to think for me, like when it's weird because like when we saw the trailers for the game, I was like, I have no idea what this game is, but it's Kojima and I'm in. So maybe it was like building something random just out in the wild and how satisfying that felt. I'm like, oh, okay, I get the loop now. Because when someone tells you like, hey, this game is all about delivering packages, most people are gonna be like, well, that sounds extremely boring. But I think it's once you start messing with the nuance or all the systems and stuff like that, that's when you're like, wow, that felt good. That was awesome. Like building that road for the first time, and you're like starting to realize, like how you're saying, all the potential for like the future. You start thinking like, oh man, this is gonna make everything so much easier in the future, but then I got to do all the work to it. All that kind of stuff. I think just those little moments really added up for me to give that feeling. All right. This is from Rob Persglove. Hello, Long D. Dustin. I'm playing Death Stranding for the first time. I'm loving it. I played through Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 when I was much younger, and I think they were lost on me due to my age. Do you think they're as good now? Death Stranding is so unusual yet so great, and I want to play something that gives me the same feeling as Death Stranding did. Where would you recommend starting if I were to go back and play the Metal Gear series? Thanks for the great show.
Man.
What a question.
Nothing is going to make you feel like Death Stranding except for Death Stranding, which is why Death Stranding 2 is so exciting. Just because I'm hoping to get more of that or in a new way, whatever. But Metal Gear is going to give you something completely different. That is also unique. And as far as them holding up now, it was either last year or the year before I played through Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 again, which it was my first time playing 4. And I hadn't played 1 in a very long time. And 1, you really need to just start at 1 and play 1 through 5. A lot of people tell you need to play Peace Walker 2, which is probably true. I couldn't get into Peace Walker when I played it. But you got to start with 1. And as far as it holding up, I feel like from Metal Gear Solid 1, I feel like holds up like 80%. Like there's like a little bit of PS1 jank in there, like some annoying stuff. There's the whole like hot and cold key card part of the game, which is so annoying. And there's a little bit of things that are going to be a little annoying, but I think you can handle it. And it's worth doing because the way they like layer on each other, and Metal Gear Solid 2, man, I know a lot of people think 3 is the best. Metal Gear Solid 2 is where it's peaked for me. I was just reminiscing. I was telling Holly the other night because I was watching a video about Kojima and Metal Gear and stuff like that. And I played Metal Gear Solid 2 when it came out, and I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And so much of it was lost on me at the time. So much like Rob writes in where he's like, I was much younger and a lot of it was lost on you. It probably was. But playing Metal Gear Solid 2 now, everyone talks about this, like Kojima just completely prophetic in the message and the meaning of the game. And it's nice too, because I think Metal Gear Solid 2 was so controversial when it came out because of the character swap, playing as Raiden. So now you can kind of go in just like knowing what it is. And I think that that's a great benefit to it. And the collection now, I think it wasn't good when it came out, but they've updated it quite a bit. So you'll be able to get a good experience there. Metal Gear Solid 4, weakest one, in my opinion, which I know is that a hot take?
I don't know. I don't think so. I love Metal Gear Solid 4 though, or I did. I haven't played it in a long time, but I loved it when it came out.
I'm just waiting, dude, for them to do, I would assume, because they named that Legacy Collection Volume 1. It's like, okay, now we need Volume 2 that has 4 and has 5 with PS5 versions. Like, please. That's all. I'm waiting for those because when I replayed Metal Gear Solid, the collection was not out yet. So I literally played it on my CRT with a PS1, and it was a great experience, and I love doing that. I'm like, man, it kind of would have been fun to get trophies on it and stuff like that. So I am waiting for that next collection at this point. But yeah, everyone, if you love Death Stranding, you're in on Kojima's stuff. So you got to play Metal Gear. Like, I feel like everyone, pretty much everybody, man, woman, child, everybody out there play Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's homework for Fizzant in 5 years when that comes out. True. So you got plenty of time.
Quick question. Is that how you say it? Is it Physant or Fizzant?
I think it's Fizzant.
I keep saying Fizzant, but I don't know.
What do you think, Dustin? You're on Sacred Symbols.
We've always called it Fizzant on Sacred Symbols, but I mean, we've said names of games wrong. Like when Man of Medan came out, I think Colin for like 3 months called it Man of Medan. So it's like, and I still, dude, I don't know whether it's near Automata or near Automata, because I think Square has said both in official.
Yeah. I mean, Yoko Taro is probably good or happy with no one knowing for sure.
Yeah, he probably enjoys the chaos.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. Metal Gear order, I agree with Dustin. You start with solid. Just go in release order is my recommendation. Experience it the way we all did. That glorious franchise. Glorious. Wait, do you like 5 more than 4, Dustin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, 5, listen, when that collection comes out, the revisionist history will happen.
In 5. My favor. I know.
No. People are going to be like, yeah, actually, this game, because, I mean, it reviewed and scored so highly.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think afterwards, people were just mad because it feels, in some ways, unfinished.
What do you mean in some ways? It is unfinished. Well, it's 100% unfinished, and you know it.
I think that adds to the mystique of the game, if I'm being honest.
The mystique of the game is Konami wanted Kojima out, and he didn't have time or money to finish it. And he was like, fuck, here it is.
All I'm saying is, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Are you a Huey fan?
To be honest, I don't even remember. It's been so long since I played it. So maybe, who knows, Brad, I mean, maybe it's time for my revision. When the game comes out, maybe I'll think it's not as good.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I'll play it again, too, to check myself as well.
Yeah.
We'll give it a spin around, yeah.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 is just like, I feel like Kojima saw...
It's the end of Metal Gear. It's the end.
He saw all the message boards of all the questions people wanted, and then he just vomited every answer to every fucking thing you could have ever wanted in like some mediocre, I mean, some great cutscenes, but also some mediocre, like, oh, we're just going to show you like an old looking picture and then like a map. It's just like,
you don't like seeing Sonny cook eggs, Dustin?
I like how vague and weird Metal Gear Solid 2 ends. And I think that adds so much to the mystique of Metal Gear. And then 4 is like this lore dump.
Yeah, 4 is the end, dude. You have to wrap it up.
Yeah, but
it's the end. Like then 5 comes out and it's like, okay. I feel like
Kojima had like pressure to explain he maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say he didn't want to, but something about that game is weird. It's not like the other games.
Dustin doesn't like closure. Closure.
Yeah, Dustin doesn't like closure.
No closure.
Everything has to be vague for Dustin.
What do you mean the game's over? Come on.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, play Metal Gear if you haven't played them. Must plays. All right, boys. Time for Sort It Out on this segment. We just talk about something that's bothering us in the game industry. It needs a little sorting out. Could be a game, company, human being, perhaps, if you want to get personal. Now, none of us really had one at the start of the show, but does anyone have one right now?
I have a partial sorted out / question for Ryan, because Ryan is the PlayStation man. The obvious sorted out right now is to PlayStation. In general, has been having not so good few weeks between Fair Games and Jade Raymond, of course, leaving Haven, and some of our leaks over on Sacred Symbols about the state that the game is in. And then, of course, Bungie, which, I mean, Bungie has been problematic in different ways for a while for Sony now. But then, of course, this whole art theft situation, which I think we talked about on Sacred Symbols for like an hour. So no one needs to hear me talk about that anymore. But Ryan, as the PlayStation man, how are you feeling about the brand right now?
Oh, God. About the live service thing, or like just holistically? I mean,
or however you want to take it.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of similar to like what you just said, in that like, I touch on this topic all the time too, obviously.
Sure.
I guess my sort of slight sorted out tangent there, because I feel like I'm the only one that is saying these things, so I feel like I'm in the goddamn loony bin, and I hate having to say it because I cover PlayStation. I'm always so mindful of how, if I'm covering one platform, I don't want it to look a certain type of way. I don't like calling it the worst shit. I can't stand it. I want fucking nothing to do with it. At the same time, I feel like Sony has gone about the live service thing in the most I don't know if there's like a great way to put it. I always phrase it as like a somewhat fiscally not responsible, but like I feel like it could have been actually way worse than like the way people are phrasing it. The thing I always reference is that we saw from the 2023 business segment briefing that the company gave them a very big, healthy allocation for both types of experiences, that being live service and single player. You could see it. It's just public info. It's right there from 2019, which would have been late PS4 life cycle, to where we are now. And this was when they put up that graph of like 12 live service games by fiscal year 26, and this roadmap of all these games that we know at this point are like damn near all canceled. But they allocated more money to single player, more. So we had more capital for single player and this additional capital for live service. So there's that angle to consider. There's the other angle of a lot of the studios were like new. They brought them in, or sort of helped fund them, and that's like your haven, bringing in Fire Sprite and this and that. So I always sort of look back at how it was approached and think, well, gosh, at the very least, it wasn't this full takeover like people think it is. It's not like every single PS studio is all doing live service. You can there's like a nuance to every single studio, and that Bluepoint's the one that's the most bizarre to me. Without a doubt, the most bizarre. That's the one that's the most bizarre to me, because there's that sort of weird relationship of it's not necessarily Sony assigning live service to studios. It's a matter of this is the initiative we're doing. Maybe Bluepoint felt pressure to pitch a game like that to Sony, and it's like at that point, Sony's in this position of, we know you guys don't do that. There should have been a due diligence to not let them go ahead and do that. But like Ben's expressed interest in doing multiplayer since Days Gone 1, London studio, which was closed, and that sucks ass for sure. But, for the last 15 years, they were doing SingStar and iToy and camera titles and PSVR. So nobody was playing their games anyway. Not to sort of say that's a wash, but you know what I mean. Naughty Dog, for some godforsaken reason, had this own autonomy as a studio. They weren't forced to do it. They just felt inclined to somehow pluck Last of Us Online off into a separate thing and spend 4 or 5 years doing that, which again is like a due diligence thing from Sony. But, I think about when they acquired Bungie, hindsight's everything. It was bad. It was a bad decision. I still find in the moment, if you have no place in the live service sector and your publishing partners are not going to sit there and hold your hand, it makes sense to go about it in a way where it's like, well, let's pick up a studio that knows what they're doing. Of course, they were lying about financials. Leadership sucks. Maybe they didn't really do, again, enough due diligence to see what the studio culture was actually like, what they were walking into. I'm not going to sit here and say like there's no blame on Sony's end. I think it's still been like a huge shit show. It's just that sort of convergence of how bad was it really? I think this was the best, worst result. That's the way I like to put it, which is, do you want all 12 of these games to come out? Do you want all these like studios that to then get closed after the fact? I mean, I don't know. I think you kill Ben's game, let them move on to something else. You kill Dreams, let them move on to something else. Because Dream was basically live service at that point too. You kill this Bluepoint thing, let them move on to something else. That's like the harsh reality of the games business. Games get canceled all the goddamn time. And Sony's like PlayStation Studios is very boutique. They care about these. They built this reputation late life cycle PS4, which is these big cinematic crazy experiences. And Sony's a public company. They have this responsibility to shareholders of, if they're not trying live service, it's just a weird push and pull thing. I think it's been ugly. I think it's been really tough. My sort of sorted out thing here is like, I think it could have been way worse. I hope now on the other side of this, Sony is going to be a lot more careful. I mean, they've like learned a lesson here of like, Jesus Christ, this is way harder than we thought. They also have to, and not to spend too much time on this, I think they have to approach it in a manner that they don't typically do, which is, you look at Valve and Deadlock. They put that out in a very early playable state, early access. It's totally unfinished. And there's like this roadmap of like based on player feedback. There's like a feedback loop that builds that game. I think Sony has to start doing this approach of put something out there, let's start doing early access. That's something that they don't do that. They did a Concord, which is we make these polished ass, 9-figure projects, and you're going to love this shit by the time it comes out. Now that might work for a single player game, but I think they've learned the very tough like end goal here of like, oh damn, we can't do that in this segment. It has to be based on player feedback. So that's sort of where I fall on the whole thing. It's like it could have been worse, and I hope they're learning their lessons.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thinking about, I mean, it would make sense that Sony's like, this is how we do things. We make these huge AAA super polished games that they come out and they're huge, but that doesn't necessarily work for these. And not that that's never happened, but I think that when you look at the big live service games now, they weren't that big necessarily when they came out. Especially like something like Fortnite, where, I mean, the Saves the World mode was not really that big of a hit. It wasn't until Battle Royale that it really became and started to grow into the huge thing that it is now. So, yeah, I think you're right that it is like the best, worst outcome. I think the thing that most people are just frustrated about, and the thing that Colin and Chris and I talk about, is like, you're right. It's like that diligence to be like, okay, well, if these, our main teams like Naughty Dog and stuff like that work on live service, what do we lose? What's the opportunity cost if they do that? Because now we're looking at like, Naughty Dog, which they have Intergalactic announced, of course, but it's like they're behind. Who knows when Ben's coming out with a game? Who knows when Blue Point's coming out with a game? Just like, man, all this time that was lost when you had this separate money for live service, and instead a lot of that was spent where maybe the problem wasn't money, but now the time lost and the lack of first party that ultimately we keep saying like doesn't really matter in this generation. It matters to hardcore PlayStation fans, but they're doing just fine without having regular first party releases.
Yeah. All right. Just for me, just quickly, just Randy Pitchford, I guess. This guy just cannot keep his mouth shut, dude. And I talked about this on Punching Up, but I saw you guys talked about Sacred as well. And it's like, I agree with some of the stuff he's saying, but it's like, just shut the fuck up, Randy. How have you not learned yet, man? How many years have you been clowned on just because you can't keep your mouth shut? Doing your magic tricks and all this? Just relax, Randy.
I can't believe that cool. That tweet is still up.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those things you think for sure it's going to get deleted. It's up.
No, he sticks to his guns, which I respect, but it's just like, come on, Randy, sometimes it's better just not to say anything at all instead of like pissing everyone off.
Yeah. You got to imagine, I think Colin said this, but I think about how like he accidentally leaked the release date for Borderlands 2.
Sky, dude.
Then he did this. Like, someone at 2K is calling him like, what are you
fucking doing? Yeah, they want to get rid of him so bad. They just can't. They're trying to think of a way to sabotage him. All right, Ryan, anything for you think needs sorting out?
The sorted out that I sort of came to is like, this always bothers me. I don't know if it's like just a wider sort of general core community problem or something, or if it speaks more volumes about like society in general, but I sort of can't stand the whole like reading a headline and that's the way you get your news kind of attitude. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's always like a matter of like, doubt everything, look into everything, and don't speak on something unless you read more than the headline. It's like the typical like, somebody will take a story from whatever site you can think of, and they'll put it on Twitter, and there's a character limit on Twitter, and they don't source anything, or, oh, you have to click into the tweet and the source is on the bottom, and nobody's looking at the source, obviously, because nobody does that. And so everyone's just spreading a lot of this misinformation, and I don't know, it drives me up a wall. If you don't have the time to read something or look further into it, it's okay to like have some integrity. It's okay to not comment on something. You don't have to have an opinion on something if you just don't know enough about it. It's okay to not know. and you don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
It drives the conversation in a direction that I think has been so disgusting in the last like 4 or 5 years. It drives me up the wall.
Engagement, man.
Yeah, engagement. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. I always, with Twitter, just because everyone's so focused on trying to get the most interactions that it's like, if I'm going to say something spicy, it has to be something I 100% actually believe in, and I'm willing to take the heat for it. But not everyone, not everyone's like that. But yeah, it's getting pretty bad out there.
Let's hear from the audience some of their sort outs. This is from WTF. Hey, gentlemen. This week, my sorted out is to Brad. I was recently informed via LSM's Discord that you went to Culver's recently, but then, to my dismay, it was mentioned that you got the chicken tenders. That is like going to a Michelin star restaurant and ordering off the kids' menu. You were at the Cheese Curd Castle, nay Butterburger Bastion, and you ordered chicken tenders sorted out, homie. All right, relax, everyone. Let me explain this. I went to Culver's on a whim when I was in Tennessee. I did not know the fucking meta about Culver's. I didn't know anything about it. No one ever raved to me about Culver's. So I had no idea that the butter burger or whatever was the way to go. All right? You guys need to relax.
I have never been to a Culver's. I don't know much about it. We don't have any around here.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want something called a butter burger. Like, I already know that I'm eating badly when I eat a burger. I don't need like insult to injury. That's like,
you want a butter burger, little boy?
Fucking weak.
You want a cheesecake?
Get your shit together, Dustin. Come on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would eat it. I would 100% eat a butter burger.
Then don't. Let's. There's no integrity if you're going to say that. Yeah. You would eat it. You would eat it.
Maybe I need sorted out.
Yeah.
That was a live sorted out from Ryan. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would eat the butter burger, but I don't know much about this Culver's.
Yeah.
A Southern thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I have no shame. I'm like a huge restaurant fast food bullshit.
Okay.
person.
So do you know about Culver's and everything?
No, so I haven't been to Culver's, but it's just like a thing. Like once a week, I'll probably go and like grab something that I know is just so bad for me, and it's always like I'll get the new item that some places do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like a bad habit of mine.
I think compared probably to the rest of America, you're doing pretty good if you're doing once a week.
I definitely pretty good. I try to offset it by working out and having like a decent diet 6 days out of the week. But like there's one where it's like,
dude, nothing wrong with cheat day.
Dude, it's off the table. It's bad.
I've been so where I live, there is no Chick-fil-A. There's one like 45 minutes away, but it's not somewhere, so I don't get to go there. But for the past month or two, I've had to take Holly to these appointments in Pittsburgh on Tuesdays, and there's a Chick-fil-A on the way home.
Oh shit.
And so of the last 5 weeks, I think we've hit it 3 times.
Hell yeah.
And on that third time, I was like, it's not quite as special since I've hit it 3 times in the last 5 weeks. But it's still
so good. Yeah, well, I'll see how you feel about In-N-Out when you want it every single day when you're here.
Dude, I think I could do it. I mean,
no, you can do it easily.
The thing about there's so much good food in Los Angeles, though.
Yeah, there's a lot
in that area, and even where you live too is like, I'm sure there's amazing stuff everywhere. Which
you already found food places,
dude.
You're already looking them up.
Sorry for the cross show shout out, but I heard Micah because you were talking about you guys were talking about Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, she was like, you and Brad, why wouldn't you go to Cheesecake Factory? It's like, dude, I have a Cheesecake Factory. I mean, it's in Pittsburgh, but like I'm in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to a Cheesecake Factory in Los Angeles because I have that here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go to Coco Ichibanya. Dude, this is you have a Coco Ichibanya 10 minutes from your house. You've never been to it.
No, not that one. No,
not that one.
No.
So you've been to a different one.
I think so. Isn't there one in LA? Well, I've been to some places like that, so I don't know.
Dude, it's so good. It's my favorite. Like of Japanese fast food, the 2 times I've been in Japan, I eat there like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, yeah, we can go. Yeah, we can go for sure.
So the fact that you have access to one in your home country, 10 minutes away, and you don't even care, is painful to me.
Yeah. I should just drive by it every now and then, take pictures of it and send it to you.
Do you like Japanese curry?
Yeah.
Not enough.
I'm not as high on the weeb scale as you, I suppose, in that regard. So
it's probably true.
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll influence me again, probably in some way.
Good.
So we'll go. All right. Well, next time I go to Culver's, I'm going to stubbornly not get the cheeseburger again just to piss all you guys off. I will, though, this time. I don't know about cheese curd, dude. I don't know if I can handle that. I'll see.
I'm trying to think if there's any localized fast food, Brad, that you need to eat when you're here.
Yeah, like what's something you guys got?
I think we have all the same, like, because you're in California and you basically have everything except for Culver's, apparently. But
we don't have Whataburger. I know that.
We did discuss this weekend, me and the boys, we were together and we're like, when Brad's here, we're taking you to the dive bar that's right near my house. This place is a shithole, dude. Like kind of like the booths are all fucked up. It's like the smokiest, nastiest place. Every once in a while we go there though. Feels good. And we were talking, we're like, dude, Brad, he's going.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to that shithole. That sounds real appealing. It's
real Western PA. It's a sports bar. Man, it's gonna be. We'll put some good stuff. We'll spend like $15 on touch tunes. You can drink a gin and tonic that the glass is foggy. I mean, or beer. Whatever.
Yeah.
Dustin, we're kind of close. Like, is there anything I should be doing when I'm in PA? Sometimes I'll usually go through Erie, or I'll be in like downtown Pittsburgh sometimes.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. Downtown Pittsburgh. I mean, a lot of people will tell you that you need to go to Permane Brothers. That's like a local
I've been
chain
there before.
The big thing is that they put the fries on the sandwich. Yep. I think it's a little overrated, personally.
I like Beato's Pizza. I like the sort of adult Lunchables that they put out.
That's the place that doesn't melt the cheese?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
People tag me in that shit all the time, and they're like, "What are you guys doing over there?" And I'm like, "Dude,
eating adult Lunchables. It's so good."
I would like to try it. It's as heinous as it appears. I mean, it's like the butter bread. I'll practically try anything heinous once, food wise.
Whoa. Okay.
Food wise. Well, I mean, who knows? We'll see. Whoa. But Pittsburgh stuff.
Put that to the test while you're here.
The thing, I guess I'm more thinking about like localized Butler spots, which Butler's I'm like an hour north of Pittsburgh. But hey, if you're ever in Pittsburgh, I'll take you, and you want to chill, I'll take you to some great places around here. Like Brad, we're going to take you to the Chop Shop when you're here, which is like Chop Shop has ruined traveling and eating at good restaurants or like having burgers and stuff. Cause I'm like, the best is at home, right where I am.
Okay. So. Excellent. That's like the first good thing you've told me about Butler that I'll be doing.
Dude, Butler's great. We've got a great game
I'm
store
take
now.
You to the shitty dive bar.
Dude, the shitty dive bar is awesome. I mean, a guy got stabbed out front a few years ago.
That's cool.
But that just adds to it. It adds to the mystique.
Am I going to hear people saying eagle when they're saying eagle instead?
Oh, go to Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
You might hear that. There's a lot of strange things people say around here. No, the Butler's a great place. It's just very Western PA.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never been to PA, so I'll be sick. All right, this is from the Who Fan 1. Hello, crew. Can there be any bigger sword out than PlayStation after the last few months? Just in the last 2 weeks, 2 of their live service games weren't axed, went through a crisis. Stealing art from Marathon and Fair Games apparently being so boring that the studio founder had to leave. On top of that, they canceled their half-baked customer loyalty program. Do they really need to spend nearly $2 billion on a studio to get a live service expertise? Why didn't they just build their own department and hire people with experience for a fraction of that money? They need a great showcase in the coming months to revive the faith in their brand.
No, they don't.
I was going to say, Ryan, you talked about this for a little bit. Do you think they need a great showcase to revive the faith in their brand?
A great showcase. I think people have been asking for that for a few years now. I'll add this to the kind of huge tangent I went on. I think the company is also really struggling with what everybody is struggling with. And that's it takes 6-7 years to make a game, to make their big, like wow factor games. So like there's like simply no getting around that. I think it would ideally be great for a lot of doubling down on like another like Lost Legacy or a Miles Morales, maybe coming up with this sort of half stop cycle of, you know, some of these games that'll come out a little bit sooner. You can see too how they've been like trying to like grapple with this issue, which is scouting other, you know, projects and signing them on. That's how you get a Stellar Blade or a Rise of the Ronin. I think it's a great play to be doing a lot of the hero programs, going to these developing countries, and you know, and these are like grants too. Like I think 15, 20 years ago, this would have been something where Sony's agreements are a lot more. I don't know if predatory would be the best way to say this, but like Sony would sign a game and it's like it's theirs, it's their IP. Yeah. You don't like nowadays. Like they're very sort of open. They'll do marketing rights, go to plus day one, or it'll be a grant. But typically, it's like we'll associate with these games and they'll be on our stage. They'll come out on our platform first. And so I think that's also a good like thing to always remember too, is that that's how Sony fills out the portfolio. It doesn't feel like it used to be where it's like, oh, these are always exclusives and they're studios they own. I think they're navigating it in such a manner where maybe it's not as appreciable, but I think it's definitely there, and they should be just doing a lot more of that because there's no getting around 7-year dev cycles.
Right. All right, boys, time for the exact opposite. Keep it up. Stuff we're pleased with in video gaming right now. Dustin, let's start with you. What are you pleased about?
I know I've done a keep it up for this company before, but I'm pleased with them once again, and that's Valve.
Ooh.
Valve has been doing a lot of cool work with their SteamOS platform. Just recently, there was an update where they're basically opening it up that any PC handheld maker can use SteamOS, and they can get like Steam verified. I think it's one of the like the Legion Go or something is now you can install SteamOS on it. And also the update they did for Steam Deck added a nice feature for me where I keep mine docked a lot, and I've always been worried about the battery being at 100% charge. So now you can set it so it only charges to 80% for battery health, which is nice. Yeah, Valve, I just always appreciate them for being like it almost feels like, I don't know if countercultural is the right word, but they don't operate like other big, massive platform holders where it's like, hey, you can buy a game, and if it doesn't work on your computer, or if you just play it for 2 hours and you don't like it, you can return it. It's very open with like community forums on Steam, things like that. They have like different policies about like if your game has AI stuff in it or like not putting ads in games. It's really surprisingly open and consumer friendly.
Yeah.
Compared to the other big players. And so for them to be like, yeah, we're going to open up SteamOS, that you'll be able to run it on other things as well. Pretty cool. So keep it up, Valve.
Very cool. Ryan, anything for you?
Yeah, I like, I dislike the whole let's bump up to $80 price tag for some games, but I love how we're exploring the price spectrum a lot more often nowadays. With Claire being 50, Split Fiction being 50. It is a very cool renaissance in a way that like these sort of would appear to be bigger games, and they are bigger. Maybe they're more defined as AA nowadays by like today's standards, but really appreciate that we're like seeing more games not necessarily be like always 60, always 70. Now we're touching the $80 tag, but that's the one aspect of like the whole price sensitive discussion I've really liked lately. Is like, oh, it's actually cool that like, oh, that's $50 day one, which also like if it's at retail, that means like in price match, it's going to get cheaper. Like that's what I always advocate for. But when it comes to physical media, I always advocate for physical because then you have that option of possibly getting it cheaper. So when the price starts at 50 or 60, like you can generally get it even lower if you buy discs, and that I think we should be doing more of. You know, let's not go for like low volume, well, high volume, sure, but trying to get such a high average selling price. Maybe let's, double down on the whole idea of like, no, this is a lot more affordable. And that hooks people, I think, in a way that hasn't usually, like, when it's 70, you see a lot of people turned off, but man, the amount of times, just anecdotally speaking, where I see people go, it's so cool that Claire's only 50. It's like, well,
Yeah.
there's something to that.
Yeah. It's like the old days of gaming back in the day before like PS2 and there's more variable pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. All right. Just quickly for me, my keep it up is to an all-star keep it up thing. And I do, and many people say on this show, it's the standard, which is Capcom. Just want to keep it up for bringing Onimusha 2 back. Very happy about that. The series is back. A new game coming out next year. I'm a big fan. So hopefully we'll get 3 and 4 in the future. So thanks, Capcom. But you still got work to do on those Resident Evil ports. Why are those not on consoles? Wrong segment, though. All right. This is from Adam Razek. Hello, gentlemen. I know I'm cutting it close to the deadline, but I want to send a fat keep it up to level 5 and their comeback with the new Fantasy Life. I picked it up yesterday, and it's been freakishly addictive. I've loved level 5 since I was young, so to see them return to the Western market with a game this good and successful makes me extremely happy. Also, I've been a big fan of Mystic Ryan for years, so it's cool to know he's finally appearing on Summon Sign. Well, there you go. Nice.
When you read that name, I recognized him. So
do you?
I want to let him know. Thank you. I appreciate you being around for as long as you have been.
That's awesome. All right. This is from KZ Icon. Greetings, sexy summoners. I want to give a huge keep it up to Battlefront 2 community. I got the Star Wars itch from a friend that led me to picking up Battlefront 2. Not only is it a great classic multiplayer game, but its community is what's got me the most hyped. On May 24th, we banded together to send a message for Battlefront 3. However, not only did we smash concurrent player counts across the board, we also crashed the server for the game after 8 years from its launch. Honestly, I know not everyone else likes Star Wars, but this feels like a real epic moment for gamers. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Yeah, this is crazy.
I always feel like I wanted to check out the new Battlefront 2 after they cleaned up all the controversy around it. Because it seemed like it was a cool game.
Yeah, I played it when they cleaned it up. It was fun.
Yeah.
That was years ago, too.
So yeah, I'm guessing Battlefront 3 is not happening. But it's cool that they crashed the servers. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Next game on the list is what I've been playing is Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. Got a remaster. I didn't think we were ever going to get another remaster for Onimusha. Onimusha 1 remaster came out years ago, and I was like, man, no one bought it. I'm never getting 2, 3, 4, anything like that. But thank God Capcom's bringing it back with a brand new one. And they finally released 2, which was one of my favorites. So I've been going through it. And I'm just curious, do any of you have history with Onimusha?
I played a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I played the remaster at the end of last year.
Okay.
It was my first time. I thought it was awesome. And I'm excited to hear you talk about this. I kind of forgot that this was even happening.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, is there a physical version of this?
Probably not. I don't think they did it for the first game either.
They did.
Oh,
I got
did they?
one on Mercari for a decent price.
Okay.
So they did do a limited physical of that, but
I don't know about this then.
It would be nice to have them both, but if they don't have it, then
yeah,
it's fine. Whatever.
But yeah, I don't know. So just for anyone, if you're unfamiliar with Onimusha it is basically Samurai Resident Evil. Like there's fixed cameras, you're walking around. It's like Devil May Cry 1 almost, but less combo focused and stuff like that. But you're going around, you're solving puzzles and stuff like that, exploring. It's just like a Resident Evil game. You're getting herbs to heal yourself. So there's all that good stuff. But yeah, this is the sequel to the first game. It does take place after the first game, like timeline wise. But you play as all new characters. So Samanosuke, who's the character in the first game, is not even really in this. But it's a cool evolution in the sense that the first game all kind of takes place in this one region, like this castle area, and like kind of around it. That's where the entire first game takes place. And this one is much more throughout Japan. And what's interesting is there's a kind of a hub town you return to occasionally throughout the game where you can actually like buy stuff like villagers. Like there was none of that in the first game. It was all everywhere you went was death pretty much in the first game. But now that's interesting to actually go through a town and kind of go through spots and buy a couple items. And so I thought that was kind of refreshing. There's also multiple characters in the game you can unlock to play as by giving them specific gifts. I totally forgot about that and how you did that this time around because it's been so long since I've played this game. I was playing and I was like, man, I could have sworn you could unlock more characters to play as, but you got to give them specific gifts. But they all have like different play styles. Like one guy has a gun, there's a ninja guy, there's a huge guy that has like a spear. So that's really fun. But this time around, you play as Jubei, and he has multiple weapons. The first thing you kind of start with is like a lightning katana that was in the first game. Then you get an ice spear, like a long spear that has ice powers, and that's my favorite. Then there's the wind glaive from the first game and stuff like that. Really fun going through areas, killing demons. You absorb their souls. It's like God of War in the sense you absorb the XP from them, and you can use it to upgrade your weapons. So very influential God of War in that sense, but it's kind of hard for me to like say how much more depth there is to the game because there isn't. There's like side stuff to do. Like there's occasional there's bloody palace. Do you guys know that from Devil May Cry? Like you go through floors fighting guys.
Oh yeah.
There's stuff like that kind of in this game you can do, and there's of course optional items to find and stuff like that, which is really fun. But this game is quite a bit longer than the first game. The first game's like 6 hours maybe for your first playthrough or something like that. It's pretty short. This one's probably double that, I would say. And it's cool because you revisit some locations from the first game and how they've changed over time. So that's really fun. Combat still sounds really cool. The sound effects are super good. But if you're playing this game, don't expect Devil May Cry. You're not air juggling or anything like that. It's much more straightforward, I guess, and what you can do. But it's still satisfying. Like cutting a demon up and like down thrust stabbing them still feels really good. And it's awesome. It's a really cool game. If you like Resident Evil games and stuff like that, or those old style Capcom games, I think it's a no-brainer. But I'm not finished with it yet, so I'm curious to see, like, I don't remember like what replay stuff. I don't remember if there's New Game Plus or anything like that, but it's been a good time. It also looks really good. I think they did a really good job with this remaster. Like the pre-rendered backgrounds look so sick. There's this one part on like you're on a beach and there's water coming up and it looks like they just recorded video and threw it on there, but they made it look so good. It's awesome. So if you're nostalgic for any of those kind of PS2 era graphics and stuff like that, you gotta check this game out. It's really cool and I'm having a good time playing it, but keep in mind it is a PS2 game from a long time ago. But Dustin, sounds like you want to play it sometime.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I enjoyed the first one, which it makes sense because I love old Resident Evil games. Well, I guess I don't want to be a fake fan here. I played the Resident Evil 1 remake, which is more faithful to those, but I haven't played like the original 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done that yet. I need to at some point.
They're on PC. They're on GOG now.
Oh yeah,
remasters.
I feel like those games would be amazing to play on native hardware on my Series.
Yeah, so, you got it. Yeah, you should play the PS2 ones or PS1 versions.
Yeah, I need to get those physical, for my collection at some point. But, so yeah, I definitely want to check this out just because of how much I like the first one. And I want to be ready for the new game, which looks really awesome too. So,
yeah.
We'll see when I get to it.
Yeah.
Though. I mean... if I hadn't started Death Stranding again, I actually probably would be buying and playing this, but maybe we'll see. Because you said it's like 12 hours.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long. I should look up how long it is. But Ryan, do you have any interest in revisiting Onimusha or in the new one coming out?
I'd like to. It's similar to Doom for me, though. It's kind of low priority for me.
Okay, fair enough. It says how long to beat here, Dustin. 9, just for the main story, 9 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh, dude.
Main plus extra 11 hours, 43 minutes.
This is a game I would normally want to play on PlayStation, but I do have that flight out to California that I could play it on Steam.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing it on the way back with Mario Kart.
I know, you'll have Switch too, yeah.
So I also don't want to play half of it and then,
fair
leave
enough.
it. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Cool ass game. I recommend it to everyone out there. All right, Dustin, let's talk about... Oh, I'm sorry. I have some write-ins about this game. I totally forgot. This is from My Medulla Oblongata. Has Onimusha always been this goofy? I haven't played 2 since the PS2, and I can't help but laugh at how ridiculous it is. I used to think that maybe the English voice acting was just bad. Now I'm damn near fluent in Japanese, and the Japanese is just as goofy, if not goofier. Great game, though. I hope the Remaster 3 and Dawn of Dreams before the new Onimusha is released. Yeah, some of the voice acting is extremely goofy, and it is interesting to know it's goofy in Japanese as well, because, I have no idea. But it's still cool. It reminds me of like a lot of the old Resident Evil voice acting. Not quite that level, but still in that vein. And this is from Argus Forever. Bradley Theodore Ellis. That's not my
middle name.
No. My middle name's Justin. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not Theodore. Awesome to hear you're playing Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remaster. The original was my first Onimusha, and it made me fall in love with the series. It's a game I'll never forget, and I'm excited to jump back in via the remaster too. Curious, does the remaster feel like a love letter or a fossil to you? And do you think Capcom should give the series the full RE engine treatment? So excited for the new modern Onimusha coming next year. Cheers. Does it feel like a love letter or a fossil? Both, I guess. Because you see it and you're like, yeah, this is definitely a PS2 game. But they've done a great job remastering, particularly the remaster backgrounds. Like, I think of some games that don't have great remaster backgrounds, like Final Fantasy IX. I do not like the way that remaster looks, unfortunately. But this game, I'm like stopping to look at stuff because it looks so good. As for the whole series getting like, I am assuming they mean like remake treatment for all of them. Then I don't know if Onimusha is that popular to get full remakes. That would depend on how this new one does, I suppose.
That's what I was thinking.
If they did it, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm all in. Of course, I would love that because I love the Resident Evil remakes and I love Onimusha, so I'd be 100% in. But it is nowhere near as popular as Resident Evil, so I don't know. But if they do it, I'm not going to complain. We'll see. We'll see how the new one does. That will dictate the future of the franchise. All right, Dust. Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I've decided to go back to Stardew Valley once again because I never played the co-op mode, and I was thinking it would be fun to play a game with Holly. Holly's like a master at this game.
Oh, yeah.
Not that she's like 100% or anything, but she knows so much more than me. And so if somehow you don't know what Stardew Valley is at this point, it is a like Harvest Moon style farming sim game. But what's cool about it, to me at least, is that it has a lot of different like RPG light elements, I would say. So like as you do some farming, you are able to upgrade, you unlock new different tools and equipment that you can use to kind of like min-max different things about it. There's like this cave that has monsters in it. So there's like this whole combat element to it as well, where you can get resources there. And there's like a life sim aspect where there's all the people of the town next to the farm that you can go and interact with. You can marry somebody, things like that. But it's been fun. What's interesting about the co-op mode is that it's a game that's very structured by like how much time and energy you have each day. So it's like maybe you run out of energy because you're doing all this farming. So you're like, okay, I'm just going to go talk to people for this day. Or maybe you're like running out, and if it hits 2 a.m. on the clock, your character just passes out wherever they are. And the next day you get like a debuff that you're like tired, so you don't have as much energy and stuff. But when you're playing co-op, no matter what you do, the clock is running. There is no pausing of the time. So there's been a few instances where I've started a cutscene and then like Holly's character is like running around in the background and I'm like stuck in this cutscene and the clock is going. I'm like, come on, hurry the fuck up. Like I'm going to run out of time here. But yeah, it's been like a very cool, chill experience for us playing together and like setting up our farm, things like that. So I don't really have too much to say other than this game is still really awesome. There's been a ton of updates to it to the point where it's been long enough that I played that I don't remember what's new and what was in the game when I originally played it. But yeah, this is like the perfect chill zone out type game. And it's crazy. I've seen like some like what advanced farms are like.
Oh yeah.
And people have done some insane stuff. So if you haven't somehow played this or heard of it, Definitely check it out. I think it's like only like it's probably cheaper than $15.
Oh yeah, it's
now.
probably cheap all the time.
So yeah, Stardew Valley. Not too much to say, but I wanted to tell everybody it's still awesome, and the co-op mode is really a lot of fun because you can really be efficient. Where like we're able to work as a team, and it's like, okay, you're gonna water this stuff. I'm gonna go to town. I'm gonna get the seeds, things like that. I'm gonna check the trash can when no one's looking, and steal some stuff. You know, there's the co-op mode's pretty fleshed out.
Are you guys playing like? Are you playing on one screen or are you playing on separate stations?
I was trying to figure that out because I own it on. I think I own it on Switch and PC, maybe on PlayStation 2. But what we're doing is we're using my Steam account, and she has her laptop, and then she logs offline of Steam, so we can both run it at the same time. And I have my old PC hooked up downstairs, and so we're each playing on our own screen. Which I mean, cool. Split screen's great. I love split screen, but it's
it's easier playing on your own screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool, dude. I was looking at his other game, Haunted Chocolatier, still a ways off, but
he was on so that what is his name? Concerned Ape. He was just on a podcast, like Bobby Lee's podcast, and it was really funny, cool episode. And I think Bobby asked him like, so will the Haunted Chocolatier be out in the next 5 years? And he's like, I hope so. I was like,
man.
But I mean, this is a dude that he's a solo developer. He's made millions of dollars.
Yeah. I'm
like, dude, I kind of respect that you're just like chipping away at this next game, doing free updates to Stardew Valley.
Lots of updates. Yeah.
And I think that's cool that he can just kind of, so it's like, yeah, take your time. Like there's a million games out. But I'm excited for whatever that next game is too.
Yeah. Ryan, have you played Stardew Valley or any interest?
I know I'll lose a lot of time playing that game. I don't. It's like a very mindful. Don't do this because you're not gonna leave it for a while kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that, dude. I love it.
Yeah. Even like last night we were playing, and I think we were like, okay, we're gonna stop playing at 2 a.m. and it was like 2:30, and I was like, no, we actually. Like, yeah. I told her, I was like, I could easily, at the way I'm feeling right now, I could stay up all night and play this game. Like, no problem. But it's like, I guess I have responsibilities, and I want to not be dead for the show today. So it's definitely a game you can get lost in very easily.
Oh, yeah. Awesome game. You should definitely check it out. All right, guys, let's end the show with some closing questions from the audience. If you want to write into this show or any of our other shows, go to our Patreon. We post threads every week calling for your submissions for each individual show, so keep an eye out there. All right, this is from Brian Aviet. Hello, gentlemen. First time writing in, so I thought I'd lighten the mood by asking, what is your most cringe gamer moment? Just a few years ago, before meeting my wife, I was at a local game store looking to buy a used copy of a game, but I often had bad experiences in the past with getting discs or cases that were sticky or smelled awful. I grabbed the case game I wanted and took it to the counter. The woman at the register is an attractive blonde who takes the case and retrieves the disc from the back of the store. As soon as she brings the disc to me, rather than prepare to pay or act normal, I immediately bring the disc to my nose and sniff it. I wanted to make sure it didn't reek before I bought it. As I lower the disc from my nostrils, I see the woman staring at me in horror. It was at that moment I realized I was a fucking weirdo. I walked out of the store with shame, knowing I'd be single forever. I'm married now, but it's certainly not to that woman. So now I must ask, what is your most cringe gamer moment? Good luck topping mine. Thanks for the great show. All right, cringe gamer moment. What do we got here? Can anyone think of one?
Oh, God.
I don't know. Do you want to go, Ryan? I have one locked in.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll share two. One that happened to me, but one that I observed that I think is also great. The one that happened to me, I actually talked about this on a show recently. I was at the eye doctor, and they have the option where, like, you're supposed to get your eyes dilated so they can look in them or whatever. They have the option where you can get, like, you put your face up to this machine and they take a picture of your eyes, so you don't need to get them dilated. So I do that because I hate getting my eyes dilated. And the lady there, very nice. I do the picture of the first eye, which you like really got to place your face up against it, not blink. And I did it on the first go. And she's like, wow, you're pretty good at this. And I don't know why I said this. I was like, yeah, I kind of min-maxed it at this point. And then I was like,
I was wondering where this was going. Like,
Holy shit.
I was going to lead to
I was like, she has no fucking clue what I just said. And why did I say that in that moment? So that was pretty cringe. The gamer lingo, unfortunately, bled into the real world. The other cringe gamer moment, this isn't necessarily, I mean, it is funny, but it's not like laugh out loud funny. I was in high school. I was at some like a Guitar Hero tournament that some like, I don't know if it was like some youth group or some organization was putting it on. I did not win. And this one guy won. And so I was like, oh, great, this guy won. And he's like, dude, can I play Through the Fire and the Flames? And he was just going to have everyone watch him as like a performance, like to play it. And I was like, okay. So he started doing it. And like 30 seconds into the song, he starts like, you see the like ticker go down, like he's failing. And right before he fails and everyone's looking around, he presses the start button and then goes to the audio sync and just starts syncing the audio. He doesn't say like, oh, it's not synced up. He just like starts syncing it. And then he synced it. And then I think he did it again. And I think he beat it maybe. So maybe he was right that it was out of sync.
Was off, yeah.
But to see him like fucking lose after it wasn't part of the tournament for him to like, the winner can play a performance of Through the Fire and the Flames for everybody. But he just like, I don't know. He had like big dick energy. He's like, watch me beat the hardest song in the game. Almost fucking fails. Doesn't say anything. So shout out to that guy wherever he is now. Hopefully still
shout out
playing Guitar Hero.
Hopefully still shredding. Yeah.
Shredding.
Ryan, what about you?
That is truly an actual cringe moment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
I think I've got two as well. One of them was also a tournament. It was a Pokemon Battle Revolution tournament at a GameStop. You could bring your DS, so your Diamond and Pearl party, and just do double battles, and whoever wins wins a copy of the game. And I remember I got pretty far, and then I thought I was like being like galaxy brained here with this strategy of like bringing an Electrode and a Gengar to where Electrode will use Explosion, probably knock out the opposite two Pokemon, and Gengar won't get hit. But I just like totally fucked it up, and I used Electrode on a different Pokemon, so I like knocked out my own team, and they using rock types, and I don't know. I wasn't thinking it through, and I remember being salty about it too. I'm sure I was like not behaving all that well. Mm-hmm. So that was
that's funny.
I don't feel proud about that. The other one is when right before MotorStorm was going to come out in North America, me and my buddy were like really excited for that game. So together we decided to skip school to go to GameStop to pick it up like day of, like in the morning, which mind you, MotorStorm does not have split screen, the first one. So we're going there to like, just like one person play it at a time and like hand the controller back. I don't know what we were like thinking of doing, but we both skipped school for this shit. And we get there and we're waiting outside, and the store employee like is about to open the door, and he looks at us and he's clearly like puzzled in a manner of like, what game is coming out today? And so he looks at us and he's like, oh, what are you here for? And we both like in unison, we're like, MotorStorm.
Oh man, that's funny.
But here, the worst part is like, we got in the store, and then for some reason he asked us again, like, so what are you here to get? I was like MotorStorm. And he's like, he's punching it in the system. We fucking showed up a day early.
Oh man.
I'm like, wow, we like skipped school for this, and we like picked the wrong day. The following day I skipped again. My buddy didn't skip.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get that game, dude. Got a game.
I was really excited for I was like, it looks sick.
Yeah. For me is me and my friend Steven, back in the day, we entered a Counter-Strike tournament, and it was 2v2, and it was Scouts and Knives, I think, or Ops and Knives only, or something like that. The Op map, I think. And we just got our asses kicked like the first round by some junior high kids, and we're just like, fuck, man. We have no business here. We just got humbled so hard. I was like, man, that was fucking embarrassing. And it was a local tournament, like LAN, so it was like just see it's like getting your ass beat by some junior high kids. We're like, God damn, dude. We're washed up, man. So that's definitely one I could think of. But I don't know, dude. I always get like secondhand embarrassment at like game stores, dude. You always get some turbo nerd guy occasionally who's like smells bad. It just hits all the stereotypes, man, and just like talking forever. And I'm like, oh man, it's weird. I don't know. I'm sure everyone runs into that occasionally.
I feel that. I feel awkward going to like GameStops nowadays because I'm like, I don't want to like be around that person.
Yeah.
I do. As far as Brian's story about smelling the game, I don't think I haven't done this, but if I bought a game that was used and then I like, got home and I'm like, oh, this thing reeks of smoke, that would annoy me pretty bad. But I don't think I'm going to sniff it like right in the store.
Yeah, leave the store, then sniff it, then come back.
Yeah. I have at GameStop. Ryan, I wonder if you've ever done this. I've gone to GameStop to buy a new game and I'll be like, oh, I want this. And then they'll pull the one off the shelf and they'll be like, and they'll pull it. They have a little sleeve. And I've been like, no, like, no. Like, I don't want that copy. They're like, oh, well, it's never been played. It was just on the shelf. I'm like, I don't care. You opened it. It's used. Like at that point, it is used. If I open a brand new game and then bring it back to you, it's used. Yeah. So why don't the rules apply the other way? Dude, I've definitely done that. I feel cringe doing it, but it's like a principle thing.
No, I can't believe the company still like 15, 20 years later does this. How is it not the most easiest slam dunk like class action that could be filed against the company? It's not fucking new.
Yeah.
They opened it. It doesn't matter if it was played. You would never know if it was played anyway, right? The sort of gymnastics they're doing by like, oh, well, it's not been played. It's opened.
Yeah.
Open. Dude. Now, I'll do you one better, Dustin. I'll do you one better. The few times I go to GameStop, very rarely. To be honest, it's been like years. I only just recently went to a few stores to check out the retro selection. But I think it was like right when a few like late life cycle PS4, maybe early PS5. The few times that I went there, I just straight up asked like, oh, I see, because you can use like the store locator. I'm like, oh, you have 3 used copies of so-and-so game. I forget what it was. He's like, oh yeah. And he pulls one out and I'm like, can I see all 3 copies? He's like, sure. And I'm the only one in the store. So he puts all 3 out. All right, dude, no shame at all. Looking at the art, checking for damage, checking the case. And then I asked him, I'm like, you mind if I just like, he's like, yeah, you go ahead. Swapping the best art with the best case.
Oh yeah.
This is the copy I would like. I Frankenstein my own case at the register.
That's crazy.
Well, am I going to spend money, dude? Like, I don't know. There was that. Another time was like a new game. And the copy he brought forward, before I paid for it, I'm looking at the sealed copy. And this is like super, I don't know, maybe this is turbo cringe. Sealed games, a lot of like titles, right? The art will sometimes like from the factory, like the box art will be like super raised, like under that cellophane, to where the box art is crimping against like the very edge scheme. And the box art might actually have a tear in it, sealed from factory. And my psycho ass will check this. And the one copy that he like lottery like gave me, I was like, do you have a different one? He's like, oh yeah, sure. And then he, again, super nice person, different person, by the way, too. They just pulled out like all of them that they had. So I'm just sitting here like looking at these new copies of the same game. I picked the nicest one that I wanted.
Dude, I respect it because, yeah, you want to get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I thought of another cringe as we're talking about, interacting at stores. Dude, at some of these game events, like Too Many Games, I have on a few occasions witnessed people trying to make deals with people that are just like, what are you fucking doing? Like, you're asking for like half off of a game or something, or it's like you're like, oh, well, can you throw this in? And it's like a game that's equal value or something, like you want to buy one, get one free. And people are like, oh, like they'll go back and forth with these people. I'm like, dude, you're ruining, like, I don't know if you just watched one YouTube video of somebody, wheeling and dealing and getting a good deal. And so you think you can pull some shit, but it's like, I feel like secondhand awkward for these people. I'm like, why? Like, These people got to make money too. I know some of them are trying to rip you off, but not all of them. You know, some of them are they'll give you a deal, but like don't ask for like something crazy. And I've seen it so many times.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
All right, this is from Tim Shatton or Chatton. Hey, Summoners. It's great to have Ryan on the show. I've been an avid watcher of your channel since I discovered you after Colin was on Click R3. As someone who believes exclusively uses, or as someone I believe exclusively uses the DualSense Edge, have you gotten used to its weight? I often put down my Edge and use my standard DualSense because I find it very heavy, Edge fatiguing. Has it been an issue for you at all? I believe Dustin is also an Edger. All right. I have an Edge as well.
We have the edging boys are here.
Yeah.
Edging it up.
Yep.
I appreciate the kind words. This is a problem I have never even thought of until this was read in front of me. I don't notice the weight. And I've never like the thing I always say is like, because I use an Edge now, it's like cool that like they announced like that Last of Us controller or Astrobot. And I love Astrobot. I'm straight up a stand for Astrobot. I don't want those controllers because I know they're shelf pieces at that point. I'm never going to play them. I never want to play with a standard controller anymore. And if you're going to drop $200 on a goddamn controller, I better use it all the time. So for me, I've never noticed the weight. I always use the Edge.
The Edge, yeah, an Edger for life now.
So this is I have two DualSense Edge now because I have the anniversary one that came with.
Oh yeah,
me too.
These controllers kind of suck. I don't know what you think, Ryan, and I don't know if the audience can see. I know you guys won't be able to. This like rubbery part here is bubbling on this one that I got.
I've heard about that.
They're not quality controllers for $200, but these back buttons, man. I love the back buttons, and I will deal with it. I'll deal with the price and the poor build quality for it, but it actively pisses me off. Like I use the controller and I kind of hate it at the same time because I'm like, it's only going to get worse. The sticks have been fine, and stuff like that, but I'm like, and the battery life, it is ass. It is just not good.
See, my thing is I don't use the back buttons at all. So I'm kind of like shorting myself by like paying $200 just for like the privilege to not use back buttons. But I like pulling a fucking DualShock 2. Give me that convex, baby. I like the convex sticks, like PlayStation 2. I love that they gave you the option to swap out like different stick sizes. And one of them was convex PS1, PS2 style sticks. I'm like, or actually DualShock 3 as well. I was like, oh, hell yeah. So that I think I use it exclusively for like that and the slight, texturized portions on L2 and R2.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, that is nice.
Now these stick out to me like crazy. So if I ever hold a standard DualSense, I'm like, oh my God, where's my grip? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And very rarely I'll use the stops, the trigger stops. So to get like a shorter throw on L2 or R2. I rarely use them, but in the cases where I feel inclined to use it, it's pretty clutch.
Yeah. I hope whatever the next PlayStation controller has back buttons on it by default. That'd be nice.
Hey, Nintendo's doing it now.
I know they are doing the Pro controller. So maybe we'll see. Okay, this is from Caleb Peacock. Hey boys, this question is directed at Ryan, but open to everyone as well. I was wondering what your favorite PS3 gems were. Thanks. Stoked for this episode.
Oh, gosh. I could talk about PlayStation 3 all day, every day. I mean, gems, though, like, are we talking just like games that are lesser known, games that are super known?
I guess you could do both.
I mean, I like dude, there's so many. I mean, I just admitted to the council here that I waited outside for MotorStorm.
Yeah.
and like I love MotorStorm. It's like great arcade racing that I still find holds up really well nowadays. Not only is it still such a looker, but it's still like the what's cool about MotorStorm is the tracks are so wide and it's like all vehicle classes on the same track. So there's that gameplay element of you have to race with a bike on this one and you're against a bunch of big rigs. So you have to pick the best path that's higher up away from the big rigs. And that's what I love about MotorStorm. Folklore, I guess, is more of a...
Dude, I've been looking for that game.
I don't like calling it a hidden gem because I think enough people definitely know about it after like 5 years of YouTube videos. but it is something where it's different. It's a very different kind of game. It's like got gotcha Pokemon elements, but it's also like a murder mystery. So the entire plot is like actually really neat, and it uses comic book storytelling for a lot of its scenes. And it's so like mythical, like dark fantasy that the vibes are good. The music's great. I think folklore is always super cool. 3D Dot Game Heroes is very, very similar to folklore in that it's like that sort of like, oh, that's the PS3 game you got to go pick up, because it's this top down voxel based Zelda style gameplay that I think is still like, there's not many games that look and play and feel like that one in particular. So that one always sticks out to me. Love Resistance. I mean, it's just, there's so many games I could say.
Yeah. Dustin, what about you?
Honestly, I'm a bit of a, I didn't have a lot of experience with PS3. I owned one later in its life when it became more affordable, but I kind of just played the main games on, like I played Uncharted and Last of Us, things like that, of course. But yeah, I didn't even like, I didn't play Resistance or I played some of Killzone 2. So I'm not really the guy to even go to on this, I guess. I'm trying to think if there was anything exclusive in particular that I really liked, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, I try to think about games that are like still like stuck on PS3. Like you guys were talking about MGS4 earlier. That's the PS3 swan song. You know, that's
true.
That was the 2008. Oh, here we go. Here's the reason to drop 500 on this bad boy.
For me, one of my favorite PS3 games is Puppeteer. It's like not an obscure game at all, but I do really like that game. Yeah. I remember I went to GameStop or whatever to buy it, and the guy didn't know what I was talking about the day it came out. He's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Puppeteer. It's like a new platforming PlayStation game." He's like, "Huh, never heard of it." I was like, "Damn." That was a cheaper game too when it came out, I remember. It's like 40 or something at the time. But Ryan, I'm curious what you think about this. I bought this. I've never played it. I know it's not good, but I got to check these out.
Oh, I did not get into White Knight Chronicles at all. Not even a little bit.
I've not heard good things about either of them, but two comes with one. So I was like, dude, I got to check this out someday. So I'm looking forward to that.
I know you can spend like 100 something hours with that game, I think. Yeah. But if it's like super clunky and it just doesn't hold up, I'm not sure how long you're going to stick with it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I paid $19 for it, so I'm like, I'm not too worried about it, but I'm more curious on that end. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up Folklore. I've been very interested in playing that game forever. I haven't seen it at stores very often, so I got to pick it up sometime whenever I see it.
It always comes up because it's like that uncommon PS3 game that like spiked during COVID. Now it kind of came back down. I don't know where it sets secondhand wise, but probably $30 to $50 maybe.
Yeah, I'd pay that. I just haven't seen it that much in person at any of my stores, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna have to just like eBay it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is from Dylan Bika. Hey, Mystic Ryan, big fan of your PlayStation-centric content on YouTube. What is your GOTY so far? It can be any game released this year or prior.
So far, I don't know if that's really fair to ask, considering I've been playing a game that came out.
Well, yeah, like I guess you could just say whatever your favorite game you've played this year is.
I by default, it's Rebirth.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah.
Like I want to like give like a more like a different like Astrobot. Let me say Astrobot. You know,
sure.
The 2024 game of the year. I was saying that like unironically for a long time before it came out and then after it came out. And goddamn, did that thing actually pull off most of the game of the year wins? Hell yeah!
Yeah, great game, dude. Really fun. Dustin, what's your front runner right now?
Oh, it's Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Lock it in. I've been saying the only thing that could maybe beat it is Death Stranding 2, but yeah. Before I'm trying to think like if it wasn't that, what would it be? It's been a lot of great games this year, but nothing that's like really rocked me. Like Monster Hunter Wilds, awesome game. Really liked it. Didn't have the legs for me like I thought it would. And we're right on the verge, of course, of Night Rain coming out, which is going to be huge. So, dude, Civilization 7, as contentious as it was for a lot of people, Really, really enjoyed that. So, but yeah, right now it's Clair Obscur, and I don't think I can see anything beating it, really. I'm excited. I just let my friend Jason, he's definitely like a gamer.
He's the casual gamer, right?
He's the casual gamer, but he's still like, he played Hogwarts Legacy recently.
That's a casual gamer game.
He's playing BioShock now. I'm trying to think. He beat Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
So it's like one of those, he plays like the big games, but he's not deep in the weeds. I just let him borrow Expedition 33. I'm like,
nice.
just play this. And I was like, I think your wife will like it too, because they sometimes play games together, like they played Last of Us together. And he texted me this morning because he was so excited. He's like, I'm an hour into the game and I'm really enjoying everything and the characters. I'm like, hell yeah. So It's really unique that I think the last RPG he played was probably Pokemon. So a turn-based RPG.
Wow.
Specifically. So I was a little nervous, but sounds like he's in.
Yeah, cool. I'm looking at the games I've beaten this year, and I think probably the front runner for me right now is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Then probably Expedition 33 from what I've played. I haven't played it. Yeah, I hate it.
You hate Clair Obscur. I've been seeing the comments that you hate it.
Because I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. So I hate it. That's the way it goes. Man. That's okay.
I feel like if I could play it, I'd probably be like with Dustin on this. It to me feels like it would maybe be my game of the year, but that's before playing DS2 or Kingdom Come or like Yote, for example. So
yeah.
I just like making fun of Clair Obscur fans now. They're like the new
new Nier fans.
Yeah, the new annoying Nier fans. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I love making fun of them. All right, boys. That's it. Another episode in the books. Ryan, thank you for joining us, dude. It's great to meet you. It's fun to have you on here.
Thank you for having me. It was very welcoming. I appreciate the time you gave me, and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, thanks for coming on. Thanks for setting aside time to be on this dumb show with us. So we appreciate that as well. People, if they don't know, you're on YouTube, MysticRyan. So all your stuff is your PlayStation focused. Mostly, you got a lot of good stuff on there. Where else can they find you if they want to follow you anywhere else?
I don't post a lot on social media nowadays, but I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, same ID, @MysticRyan. Occasionally I'll post there, but otherwise just keeping up with the PlayStation business over on YouTube.
Cool. Very cool. You have a podcast too? You said it's Press R3?
Oh, yeah, we do have Click R3. Yep.
Oh, Click R3, that's what it is, yeah.
We do bi-weekly. We'll cover up most of the major news stories on a 2-week basis. Just going over some of the more niche topics and bigger things going on in the PlayStation landscape as well.
Cool. Awesome. Dustin, anything for you before we get out of here? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, I am probably immediately going to record the Last of Us Season 2 spoiler cast. We're calling a mic after this, so I'm double duty today. But yeah, it's a great episode. Awesome to talk to you again, Ryan. It was great meeting last year at Too Many Games. I was like, I know he's going to be there. I don't know if we'll end up being in the same spot. And then we ended up talking for like 45 minutes in that hotel lobby. So we hit it off pretty good. Hopefully I'm sure we'll see each other this time. We'll make time to figure it out. But yeah, great to have you on, of course.
Yeah,
thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next episode. Take care. Goodbye. Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.